All right. After technical difficulties, Wayford, a small town on the edge of the Shimmerwood Forest, is gripped by a plague. Dozens of residents have fallen gravely ill, and our quarantine has been set up to contain this outbreak. No one can enter, no one can leave, and the Illuminated Kingdom's military has been told to exercise extreme force against those who would try to revolt. The town still functions normally from within, but supplies are beginning to run out, and the supply drops left each week are torn through quickly. Queen Brenna Ambercrown does not wish to risk the lives of her men, and so has tasked a small squad of expert adventurers to look into the matter, attempting to study this disease, work and produce a cure, while also alleviating tensions in the town. This group of experts is you four. Help us all.
Oh boy.
I was waiting for the experts to show up.
You've all been summoned to Wayford. Already there have been a few deaths from reports that have reached the outside, though the bodies have all mysteriously gone missing shortly after their death. Currently, you all stand in a military outpost that was hastily erected on the western road out of this town, on the outskirts of some untilled farmlands. Wooden palisades form walls around you, and watchtowers manned by members of the Balefire Knights keep watch. And the Balefire Knights look like these guys.
Ooh, fancy armor.
Spicy.
This is Grinchester's army. They keep a close eye on the comings and goings of this hastily made outpost. There are dozens of tents here, putting the number here in the hundreds. And this outpost is simply known as the West Expanse. You four are currently sat in a large operations tent at a table. In front of you is a map of the Wayford town pinned on a corkboard. The four of you await the entrance of the Balefire Knights Lieutenant Pardron for more information. Do you guys want to all introduce your characters one at a time, or do you want to just jump into some greetings? How do you guys want to start this off?
I feel like at least a visual presentation of what they look like would be a good way to start, and then maybe a little how they would greet everybody.
Okay, I'm gonna go alphabetical, so I'm gonna start with Icy Huckleberry.
So Icy Huckleberry is, as the image sort of suggests, an Aladdin. He's about, if I recall correctly, he's about 4'5", so he's not very tall, very rotund. And you can make out very little, if not anything, of his face beyond his little yellow eyes peeking out from under all the foliage. He has these sort of clawed hands and the bark that forms up most of his body, that is not covered in sort of leaves and foliage, almost has a scale-like quality to it, like lizards or dragon scales. He rode in on an elephant that he has now stabled outside the door, and he's essentially standing sort of at an edge of the tent, just watching. Hasn't really said much, if anything, just sort of sits there and observes with a quiet intensity.
Alright, shout out to Gallus for getting 5 packs to buff you guys. If he chooses to on this adventure.
Next 5 packs, never uses them, just to talk to us.
Next up, I'm gonna butcher this name. So if I mispronounce it, just give me the correct pronunciation. But this is Nesyamun Ramesse Tarim the Fourth.
Sure, man. It's Nesyamun Ramesse Tarim the Fourth.
I was way off.
Oh my god.
He's a dead guy, covered in wrappings. Weirdly, he seems to have wiring coming out of him, like copper wire, like you would get from like a computer. He looks very old. Kind of like parts of him are almost falling apart. Like it is pretty much being held together by like bandages and wires. He looks as like this look of just being always lost and confused and not really know what's going on. And yeah, that about describes his appearance, I think. Looks kind of skeleton-y underneath for what little skin he does actually have.
Nice.
Beside that, that's really, it's really him.
So he doesn't have the incredibly strong jawline of the photo.
No, not at least. That's Mumby's
Tragic.
alive. For those that don't know. Cartoon
The
from,
good
like,
old
90s.
days.
Yeah.
Good old
I
days.
called it.
I couldn't
90s.
find a good picture for him, so that's what I ended up going with.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Nice.
What a mood.
Shout out to Digital Prophet buying 5 packs to buff you guys too.
How exciting.
Now the next person's art is super hot. And when I showed it, I was like, man. This is, I'm probably gonna butcher this name too. Oryko?
Oryko. I was thinking like Oryko.
Oryko?
Oryko.
Oryko.
Nice.
Oryko is a Nalaman, and he has like a sort of like this scholarly outfit. And if you look a little closely, and if you're familiar with the Royal College, you might recognize that he has the House Anima and insignia like on his robes, and he would have probably ridden in on like a horse that he had purchased, but is now just tied off to the edge. He's I couldn't find anything with like good glasses, but I would like to imagine him with like scholarly glasses as well, but maybe they're just reading glasses and he doesn't need them all the time.
Perfect. And last but not least, Professor Wilhelm.
Also coming from the Royal College, Professor Wilhelm's kind of this older man, kind of late 40s, you know, his hair is starting to turn gray a little bit. Definitely had better years before him. He has like this long kind of fur cloak, and underneath that you can see some like metal, and attached to his back there's this like little almost like copper gold spider that kind of just sits on his shoulder with like this spinning orb, almost like kind of a magical sphere enclosed inside of it.
That's a little orb spider.
Cool.
Other than that, he's just kind of a typical human, nothing really standing out much about him.
Alright, so as the 4 of you are sitting inside this large tent waiting to be briefed by Lieutenant Cardron, anything you guys want to discuss or prepare?
Question: how tall is Wilhelm?
He is 5'8", so he's not super tall, but he's, you know, a little bit above
He's a
average.
good foot and a bit taller than Huckleberry. Huckleberry is going to be trying to like sort of reach up and poke at your contraption, your little spider guy. Just sort of in a curious kind of like kind of way.
So the spider drone doesn't actually react at all, but Wilhelm kind of looks down at you when you do that. Curious, are you?
I like to look at new things. I've not seen this before.
It is of my creation. It is my assistant in research and combat.
Hmm.
I have not seen your type before.
I am not from here. I am from elsewhere.
That I can see.
I think
about
at
the rest
that
of you?
point, Oryko would speak up and be kind of like shuffling through his notes, like kind of looking up and down at Icy, and like he'll get to a certain page and be like, if I'm not mistaken, are you perhaps in a Latin?
I'm Huckleberry.
Hmm.
I think
And-
that's a yes.
I would agree with that, Professor. I do recognize you from the hallways of the Royal College, but I don't believe we've had the pleasure of meeting before. My name is Oryko.
Pleasure to meet you. Wilhelm.
Yes, nice to meet you, Professor Wilhelm. I feel like I've had a couple friends who were under your classes, and they said you were a harsh teacher.
I'm afraid artificing is not for everyone.
Yes, it's certainly not my expertise. I feel any mechanical contraption, I tend to just make it combust.
Well, maybe when I head back to the school, you can attend one of my lectures to figure out how to avoid that.
I would enjoy it.
And lastly, he kind of looks at the mummy. You are certainly not from around here.
What do you mean? Where am I?
You
are
seem to
here.
be actively decaying, if you weren't
Oh.
aware.
Decay. You're decay. Look at you. You're so old.
I suppose that is fair.
Are you my
I've had
son?
better years. I don't think I am your son.
Oh. Can you help me find my son?
I believe we have other priorities on this particular mission. You were...
You're
Uh,
in the right spot.
Son,
ooh. Is that tree talking?
son, is this a term you meat walkers use for saplings?
That would be a good way of putting it, yes.
Huckleberry is pleased with himself for having remembered something. Good. Yes.
Also, Oryko, you would
Yes.
notice Professor Wilhelm has like house tritness on his like coat.
Oh, okay. He would probably make a little note of that in his like journal. He always seems to be writing whenever he's not speaking or participating in a conversation.
Wilhelm likes that.
Do you know who we're supposed to meet here to discuss the situation?
Yes, I believe we were about to be informed, but they might be late by the looks of it.
It doesn't speak well if someone who's supposed to help us isn't punctual.
I believe the college has spoiled us with too much civility.
Yes, I agree. I've only started recently studying in the different environments of Erenel, and of course being in the environment is a much better teacher, but this is my first expedition after, graduating.
Well, this will be my last. How fitting.
Hopefully you can impart some knowledge. You've been on the field for how long?
Well, I'd say about 25 years now.
Wow.
It's a long
Seeking
time
to take
to
the
be in
payment
this
from
field.
this and retire away into the mountains near Kral.
That sounds nice. A peaceful retirement after a lifetime. I
Indeed.
won't see retirement for a while, I think.
There's much to be seen in the world. Do not worry.
If you would indulge my curiosity, what is
Always.
retirement?
That would be hard to explain to a tree, I must admit.
Huckleberry is not a tree. I am of the trees. It
Do you
is
speak
different.
for the trees?
I am capable of communicating with the trees.
Interesting. And he'll make a couple more notes in his notebook.
As you guys are chatting, 2 members enter the tent and sit at the table. One is Lieutenant Cardron, who looks like this. If I can pop up. There we go.
Wow.
Guilt
Lieutenant,
energy.
Lieutenant Cardron is
Kind
a
of
man
daddy,
with
for
salt and pepper. He's in his late 40s. He's the commanding officer of this quarantine operation for Wayford. The other one that comes in is Dr. Mira. Dr. Mira is an Avis with dark feathers and calm but very inquisitive blue eyes. He was also dressed in a way that would give two from the Royal College pause as she walks in. They both sit across from you. Dr. Mira looks much more inviting as Lieutenant Cardron kind of not scoffs, but looks at the 4 of you, the ragtag group of adventurers before him. And you sense that he almost feels a little like, not disdain, but helplessness at seeing all of you.
He's probably thinking, wow, this is the best you guys could find.
Are there chairs in this tent, and is there like a central table that we're discussing, like a map table that we're discussing over?
Yep, so you're like at a central wooden table, all sitting around it, and then they both sat kind of like at the head.
Okay, when he walks in, to get a better look, I will stand up on my chair. So I can better see over the table.
Okay.
Otherwise, I will not do anything.
Lieutenant Cardron kind of gives you a moment's look, like a skepticism, and then but Dr. Mira doesn't think much of it, and she almost does the same as she sits, because she sits low too. She's only about a little over 4 feet tall.
Ha! I'm taller than you. I win.
The lieutenant speaks as he sits down. All right, let's get down to business. Once you're in town, you're in town. We cannot afford you plague masks with 2 filters each. That should last you 2 days in town. You'll need to find more plague masks when you're in there. When you get into town, leave it as little as possible. If you have to come back here, we're going to have to wash you down each time you return. So only come back if you feel it's necessary. And you see he's going to pass out these plague masks to each of you. The plague masks, they have like a very common plague mask like you'd see in the kind of like the Gothic times, except they look a little bit like they're shaped like deer antlers. They look like this.
Mm.
And he hands each of you 1 mask, and then enough filters for 2 days.
Oh, there's a fair. Oh, fun.
Am I gonna be able to put this on? Don't feel like it's set up for my head shape.
I love the fair.
Figure a different way to not have to breathe.
Lieutenant Cardron looks over at Nesyamun just kind of briefly. Maybe not all of you would need this. But better safe than sorry. Once you're in town, you may want to head to Baron Lysander's manor in the center of town. Pay respects to the Baron if you wish, but you should be finding Alvarina. She is the Illuminated Church's priest.
Oh, that's my daughter. So good.
What?
Yeah.
But that you will be able to find her very quickly
Yes, of course.
The desiccated meat sack.
I always
seems
know
confused.
where my son is. Always.
For those that don't know her, she is an Olamon. She's probably the best help you'll get with this plague, apart from our Dr. Mira here. I'd also suggest talking to the locals once you're inside, but keep a distance when you can. It may be wise to social distance.
I see.
The lieutenant's going to turn to Dr. Mira. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask out of character if you could like write down the names of the 3 characters you mentioned.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lieutenant is Cardra. Dr. Mira is the obvious next to him. And then he asked you to look for Alvarina. The Baron Lysander runs Wayford.
I will make a note of these, certainly. Definitely not going to forget them. Mm-hmm.
That's the trick when you play characters that have bad memories. You don't have to worry about it, right?
Why do you think my intelligence is always low in every character I play? I don't need to know nothing.
Time to write this down.
Who was the Baron again? Lysander?
Yep, Baron Lysander.
And what's his relevance?
Controls the place.
Controls the town.
So right now you guys are at an outpost a little bit away from the city. There's roadblocks and quarantines on the city itself. As you guys are going into the city, you're going into a quarantine zone, basically. Dr. Mira says, my role here is as a researcher, but my expertise is primarily as a medic. So far, I have only seen specimens from afar, and I have very strict orders to not be within the quarantine zone or to have direct contact with any living subjects. When you talk to the locals, try to find a common thread for those who have or have not gotten sick. Things like, were they frequenters at an eating establishment? They have similar diets or similar jobs. Anything could be valuable information as we try to figure out what this plague is and how it spreads. I'd also make sure to help Alvarina as much as possible and her medical staff. A poorly equipped medical team will mean the plague will have a much more dire effect. And if worse comes to worse, we may just need to burn everything down as a last resort.
Oh wow. I'll try and take the best notes I can.
That would be so much appreciated. As someone that is also from the Royal College, I know I can expect great things from the two of you. She looks at Orem and Dr. Wilhelm.
Of course. We'll get to the bottom of this.
It was wise to bring someone not of the living, send them into places where maybe the plague is a little heavy, if it is an airborne plague.
Yes, trees aren't alive, so he should be fine.
Yes. Yeah. That was our plan from
They
the start.
breathe carbon dioxide. I don't know if you knew that.
What's carbon
Huckleberry has
dioxide?
means of not breathing.
That is impressive knowledge, not typically known by most commoners.
Yes. Who are you?
I'm the professor. You can call me
Oh.
Wilhelm.
A man of much wisdom. Good, good. You can help on this quest. Journey. Thing.
I would certainly hope so.
Yes.
The
After
raisin seems confused.
Lieutenant Cardrin turns to the two that are dressed in like very academic regalia, and he says, I know that you've brought this undead here, but should he just be walking around like this? Should maybe you put him on like a very large harness?
He'll be fine.
What is that man talking about?
Nothing important as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, okay.
I have a question on how would we wash him once he comes back? Dr. Mir looks over. Well, he's probably going to lose some flesh each wash, but it is necessary.
As they're talking, his jaw just kind of falls off.
If you don't reach for it, Huckleberry will. Do you go for it?
I don't think he would. I don't think he'd be aware.
I will pick it up and just sort of like start looking at it in a very interested kind of way.
Oh.
Do you need some rope or a long scarf?
Maybe some
How tall
His tongue will just kind of go like flapping about.
How tall is Nesyamun?
He's pretty average. Probably be like 6 foot at best on a good day.
All right. So Huckleberry cannot reach.
Depending on how much of him is
face.
put together.
Huckleberry cannot reach your face to put your jaw back. We'll just sort of reach it up in the general direction of your jaw, like of your head, as if trying to place it back on your face.
He'll take it, just kind of like smash it into his face, and it'll somehow come together. Like you'll see like the copper wiring that's kind of hanging like out of him, kind of like latch around it on its own and like pull it back into place. Oh, good. Thank you,
As
tree
can
man.
see, perfect for such an expedition. If he can lose his own jaw and not feel a thing, I'm sure this virus or sickness will do nothing to him.
Yes.
That is the hope.
Dr. Mir chimes in. Well, if he is infected, we'll just need to keep him in a observation room away from everyone else so he doesn't spread the plague.
Do you guys know how the plague currently affects their victims?
Strangely enough, I have not heard anything except for that it makes them wither away and die after a week. I have not been able to examine anything because of the haste that we had to put together this outpost and quarantine off the area. That's why speaking with Alvarina is such an important thing, because she should be in the midst of all of this. But if you can bring back information to me, I'll have resources brought in from the Illuminated Church to back you up in this plight. We're not even sure if it's airborne, but we're taking every precaution, hence the plague masks.
Of course.
I'll do our best to get some information. My little friend here can actually get close to bodies without infection. He kind of points to the little like spider drone on his arm or shoulder.
Lieutenant Cardin, at first, I must say I was a bit worried when I saw the group before me, but as I've learned more about each of you here and seen what you're capable of, I feel much better at the situation. Maybe the Queen was right in calling the four of you to this.
Huckleberry has watched many civilizations fall. This will be helpful.
There's a pause and Dr. Mir and Karja kind of look at each other.
The little glowing eye thing just sort of stare directly at them.
Yeah. Eladrin. Mysterious creatures, aren't they?
Indeed.
Nature's beautiful.
Well, there's no other questions. We will see you out of the outpost, and good luck. May the light be with all of you.
Oh, is it going to be bright outside? That's no fun. My eyes don't see like they used to.
I wonder why.
We'll be alright, don't you worry.
bad for the skin.
I do not suspect that the raisin has much skin left to worry about.
Yeah.
What?
The raisin.
What do you mean?
Huckleberry will not struggle out of his chair and wander out of the tent if everything's wrapped up.
I will as well. I'm ready to go. I'll take the mask and put it on. Do we need is it added to our inventory?
No, but if you want to add it to your inventory, you could. Like mask and 2 filters.
How long do the filters last?
You have a pretty high tech mask. So yours will last 1 filter per day, 24 hours. So as the 4 of you leave the tent, make your way as you exit the West Expanse outpost. The door closes behind you, and you hear a good luck shout from Dr. Mira. As Dr. Mira shouts from the top of the watchtower, "Good luck!" And you notice she wears her plague mask outside, but she's the only one out of everyone that's outside right now that wears her plague mask. All the Balefare Knights don't wear theirs. They just have it kind of dangling from their neck.
Yes, goodbye, daughter. Be good while I'm gone.
Luck does not save those from the end. I have seen it.
You are a very dark little Eladrin, my friend.
Why is everybody so quiet, dude? What the hell's going on with my Discord?
I might be
That is a
quiet
good
because my
question.
distance.
Oh, it's like
put my mic
everybody
closer.
Nah, well, that does help. It's like everybody for me.
Yeah, I mean, I've also been a decent distance from my mic, and it's been turned away from my face, so it might be that.
You guys sound good to me.
Alright.
All right,
I
okay.
moved
Yeah, I'm just
mine.
gonna turn everybody up. It's fine.
Now it was filters. That's what we had. We had 2 filters.
Yep, 2 filters. Alright, I added that. Equipped for now.
So as you, the 4 of you,
Am I able to put the plague mask on my head, or does it not fit?
it'll sit on your head, yeah.
Okay, good.
It won't get as good of a suction as it would for the other 3, but we'll probably just Professor Wilhelm and Orion, but at least goes on.
Yeah, I don't. I suspect I'm gonna need it. I don't think I can go without, despite not being humanish.
I said his name wrong. Oryko. I apologize. So as all of you leave, you get to you're making your way towards Wayford. There's a large sign which points towards the city's direction, and that sign also hung crudely beneath it is a painted sign which says "Quarantine in effect, turn back, or risk being shot." About 200 yards from you in the sign, up the road, is a barricade of timber. The entire road is blocked off with these barriers, and behind the barricade is several soldiers, all clad in the typical Balefire Knight armor. So they all have that same deer-like mask hanging around their necks, just like the others. And as you guys are walking up to them, as you get closer, they put theirs on. So they wait till you guys get about 50 yards from you, then they put their masks on. And as they put their masks on, as you approach, each of them raises flintlock pistols and point them at you. Halt! What is your purpose here?
I should note Huckleberry is not walking. He is sitting upon Stefan, his elephant.
Oh yeah, that is. I totally forgot you're riding on an
Oh, yeah,
elephant.
that's right.
Yeah, I ride an elephant. Just
Mini
sort of like,
elephant, right?
huh?
It's a mini elephant, right?
It's
Like,
still
how
size
big is it?
large. It's about the size of a horse.
I'll kind of take out like my Royal College medallion and hold it in front of him. We're on official business, looking into this plague.
Are you the adventurers from the Queen?
Yes.
All right. Well, be careful. You'll see horrific things in there.
Yes. Is there any place to get mask inside the town?
We deliver a shipment each week to the Barons, and I believe he holds everything in his cellar. It is up to him to pass out the stock as needed.
Very well. Thank you for the information. We'll be heading out now. Stay safe.
You guys get about 50 yards or so, you see them all remove their masks. As you walk, you enter town. You pass a farmland where the owner and his son eerily eye you from their porch. And they both make no effort to hide their disdain of their situation. They do not have masks, they just kind of stare at you from the porch. Further down, you pass a dwarf stable master, who's also in a similar manner, although he at least gives you a slight wave. You can still see that he is also has that disdain look on his face. Then as you get into the main square of town, you feel the prying eyes of the townsfolk, seemingly both scared of what they're dealing with and being forced into quarantine by the Illuminated Kingdom. The road is going to naturally lead you to where the Baron is, which is this very large building right here. You can see that the Baron's manor is barricaded with sandbags and wooden stake barriers, and then several Wayford militia guards stand on duty behind it. These are just normal guards. They don't have the awesome looking balefire knight armor, and you can tell they're homegrown soldiers.
I am a homegrown soldier.
As you approach, one of the guards is going to come forward. What is your business at Manor Lysander?
We're the adventurers
Sent by the Queen.
Yes. We're hoping to figure out what's going on here and hopefully resolve your problem.
The one that's obviously like the captain or the highest rank looks over at one of the other guards. He looks much younger. Take the team here. You see Alvarina. The guard looks at you. He waves to follow him. He's going to lead you to an entrance behind the manor here. There's a small little underground cellar. There's a hefty stone door which leads down below. And the guard that led you said, "Put your masks on now." As he does so himself, he attaches a mask, fastens it.
I mean, my mask was already on the whole time.
Yeah, I imagine mine was on the whole time. Sorry.
Yeah, Huckleberry
Second we
put it
got
on as
past
well.
that bridge, and I saw the doctor had hers on, mine was going on pretty quick.
Okay.
Yeah, Huckleberry saw everyone else putting theirs on and went, okay.
As the guard puts his on, smell
Not
alone
even
down
clear
here.
if Nesyamun even grabbed it. But he's definitely not wearing it.
So then the guard will like wait a second and then look over at Nesyamun and then see that he's kind of rotting, and he just
Oh.
kind of shrugs.
That's
He is
a-
most likely.
That's my grandson.
Oh, you have a lot of children.
Huh.
The raisin is confused and dazed. Best left for dead.
I think he already is.
That is for the
That's
best.
sad. Death is terrible.
Death is not terrible.
Terrible thing.
Death is good.
Well, at least you won't be minding the smell. The smell down there might make your stomach churn, let alone the sights you might see. He reaches down and he grabs the cellar doors and he looks back. Are you ready?
I do not have much of a
S-
stomach, if any.
Ready as I can
I am
be.
not concerned.
This is where the fair is.
He opens the doors and he goes down first. And as all of you follow him down single file, you see several physicians and nurses in dark coats. They're all wearing the same plague masks. There are dozens of extremely malnourished and withering patients. They look like writhing corpses lying upon beds. Blood stains the floors and the sheets. As you walk by, patients vomit and cough regularly. Amongst the carnage is a young woman, an Ulamon woman, dressed in clothing typical of a very wealthy Granchester upbringing. Around her is a very, it's a lightly transparent bubble, which pushes away the air around her, almost like prestidigitation, but it's constant 24/7. And she doesn't wear a mask, instead she uses this magic to purify her area. And she looks like this. This is Alvarina.
Oh, that's my granddaughter.
Ah,
She
I don't know
is.
if that's true.
As we walk up there, Huckleberry will be sort of like looking over and touching all of the different like patients we walk past.
Oh my god.
Sort of like poking at them, staring deeply at them, as if I am sort of studying them, but not studying like a professor so much as like a child.
What's weird is as you poke them, so the ones in here are definitely deep within the plague. They've had it for a couple of days, and as you poke them, they almost don't even react to it. They're stuck. They're coughing. They're vomiting. They're really skinny, and as you poke them, you just you push against bone and very taut skin. Very cool. They don't even react to your presence as you poke them.
I have good news. They will soon be returned to the cycle.
I see.
The meat on these meat bags is fading away quite quickly.
Well, I
love
want to go
meat
up to
pies.
the woman, who I presume is Alvarina.
Yes, right. Yes, the thing we were told to do. Yes.
Yes.
Huckleberry will sort of shuffle over.
So as you approach Alvarina, the guard stops, introduces all of you to Alvarina, and then he immediately just kind of 180s in and just marches quickly out of there.
Okay, have a good day.
Huh.
What a good boy.
So, you're who the queen sent? The four of you have much experience dealing with plagues?
Huckleberry has
this
witnessed
bear.
several plagues.
I've done a lot of studies, but this would be my first in person.
I've handled a few.
For all the fair games.
Also a specialist in magical anomalies. And recruited for my abilities here to assist in any way I can. However, to assist, I need information. And I have a severe lack of that right now.
It's okay, I will try to fill you in as best as I can. I partially do not have much experience with plagues. I mean, I read about them some, but nothing like this. This wilting cough, the locals call it. As much as I've tried to study it, I'm not a doctor. And the first doctors to respond are either in those beds you walk past on the way in, or I've kept many of them in stasis for dissection once we can get a coroner. Since the coroner of the town is amongst those bodies, and she points to one of the dead bodies in the corner.
That makes sense.
Interesting. Wilhelm will kind of walk over to one of his things. He'll take out like this kind of, not a pistol, but it looks like it's kind of like a pistol, but it has like a bottom side with like almost a gem on it. And he just kind of holds it over, and it kind of emits like a blue light. He's gonna try and oh wait, let me reveal that was just for Bruce. Whoops. I'm just gonna like scan a body, see if it has any like magic onto it.
I love that graphic. So as you're scanning the body, it becomes pretty apparent that the only detect magic that you pick up is the magic on your guys' equipment, and then the magic that's surrounding Alvarina. But there's no, whatever this curse, this disease is, has no magical properties to it.
Doesn't seem to be magical in nature either.
Can I confirm something with you, Bruce, rules-wise?
Yeah.
With components, like with valued components, what was the deal with that again? I admit I've forgotten.
If it has a gold cost, we just use the gold cost, and then if you have like
if it's consumed?
Yeah. So if it's like reincarnation or something. But besides that, we don't do components.
Cool. In that case, I'm going to cast a spell of my own, which is going to cost me 250 gold pieces. So I will do that, and I'm going to cast Legend Lore.
Look at that one. Fancy.
Oh wow.
And I am going to try to... I'm using my focus. I'm going to basically ask the ether about the... Oh, God, I had remembered what you called it, and I just forgot what you called the plague.
it the bellowing coughs, or was it something else?
It was a wilting cough.
The wilting cough. I was asking about the wilting cough that is ravaging this city, town, whatever you want to call it.
The metagame button.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, so this takes 10 minutes to cast. So you see
Sitting in my corner.
Icy Huckleberry starts to prepare this area around it, begins to set it up. So while he's getting ready to cast that, same with the detect magic, I should have them both at the same time. So I guess to kind of think of this as you guys are both at the same time, detect magicking and legend lore, getting your spells ready.
Yeah, I mean, I immediately just kind of get to work looking at all the bodies, just kind of figuring out what's going on here. So
She's gonna
sets himself up in a corner, placing items out in like a runic circle. He starts to trace along the ground.
So while you guys find that, Elvira's going to give you a bit more information. This is what she knows. She says, what I've learned so far, well, from what little I could, is that this disease seems to do its damage by starving its victims. They report ravenous hunger, never feeling satisfied with meals. Their energy levels are low, and they face this extreme weight loss, as I'm sure you have seen as you walked in. In fact, almost a quarter of an average patient's body mass is gone within 3 days. Even stranger, they produce no excrement. It seems the food leaves the way it came without making it to the digestive tract. They just continuously vomit up whatever they drink or eat. And then a few days after this initial infection, the patient also falls victim to the harsh cough. During the final stages, this cough produces blood from the lungs, and the blood from the stomach is vomited up as well. As she explains this, detect magic goes off. You distinguish that there's no magical effects to it. And then the legend lore goes off. As the legend lore goes off,
God, tell me what's going on.
I want to type it a bit too.
Who needs intelligence when you can just ask the universe what's going on whenever you have questions?
as a man of science, that is bogus philosophy.
Hey, Bruce, would you consider this a sinister and or tragic history?
I don't know if it's history yet because this is the first time it's been accounted for.
That's well, sure.
It's more present
Okay.
than history.
Legend lore is such a weird spell.
I got it for
So-
for free because of my spellcasting focus. And originally I was like, I don't think that's gonna be helpful. Then I went, well, if we need to gather any information, I bet you that'll be really useful.
It's literally the Ask the DM button.
Yeah, it's literally what's going on here, huh?
DM, tell me everything. I don't want to play the game. Tell me the lore.
I don't feel like searching. Tell me.
I don't want to do this investigation shit.
Brief summary. Wilted cough is a parasitic illness that takes effect in the host's stomach.
I felt like it was a parasite, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, the parasite is pretty useful. I just find it funny. That's like, you just come to that conclusion after sitting in the corner for 10 minutes.
Literally looking up the FAQ to a game.
Yeah. It's like, game facts.
Can't figure
like
the puzzle
tabbed
out. Let me look
out.
up game facts.
Huckleberry just tabs out and goes looks it up on Google real quick on the other monitor.
Hang on, I gotta open from Google.
Huckleberry performs the ancient ritual of opening up Google and then asking GameFAQs and Reddit. And then waits 10 minutes for an answer. And he's good to go.
So you ask that legend lore, what is wilting cough? And wilting cough comes back. It's a parasitic illness which rests in the stomach of the host.
Thanks, God.
Huckleberry will stand back up and go over and just say,
Mhm.
I wish to have one of your victims.
Well, you see, I was waiting for a proper coroner here, someone to examine the organs, but if one of you knows how to dissect, it would be amazing. It would rush things along so quickly.
Huckleberry is good at opening bodies.
Good, because
You are more capable than I thought.
if I were to open one, I couldn't tell the difference between a horse heart or a human one.
Is that tree talking?
Huckleberry has not agreed to knowing the difference between different organs. All flesh beings are similar to Huckleberry. That being
Well,
said, I'm going to go over to the nearest dying patient.
Oh well, let me choose one for you to make this before you just go off and cut someone that's still alive. We have many in stasis that have died that you can use for this procedure.
Huckleberry would prefer a non-dead
Oh, ignore that.
to examine. Not for unethical reasons, but for curiosity.
there's nothing wrong with a little curiosity, but do you want to elaborate what you're looking for? What you're curious about?
Huckleberry lives in nature. Huckleberry, I know of parasites. Parasites do not live post-mortem. If it is parasites, then the dead body will not provide any information. A sacrifice of one dying meat sack is not a price to pay for information, is it?
Every life is special.
This is an interesting concept that you have. I have often encountered those like you saying this.
I would much rather we dissect someone dead first, just in case we are to find any information. Then, if it is necessary, get the request from the patient that's still alive before we end their life. Because while you say it is a parasitic illness, and I believe you, I'm still not sure how this disease is transferred. Everyone is wearing plague masks, but even those who swear them off have not taken theirs off since the disease has started have also caught this. But we also need to learn how this disease is spreading.
That is the case. Why am I stuck wearing this?
We're just not
Nonsense.
Sure.
I shall go and examine a body.
Oh, one more thing. This is somewhat strange. Some of the bodies that I couldn't keep into stasis, because there's just so many, that we put in body bags to burn have disappeared. I'm not sure how or why. I thought maybe someone had burned them or claimed them, but while you're here, did you also try to find where these bodies went?
Well,
This is not a common occurrence among
that is
the flesh
mighty
walkers,
unusual.
yes? Good.
Can you tell me where those bodies were stored by chance, and where they're currently being stored as well for new ones?
Yes, we have a special, another quarantine section out back behind the Barrens. The small stable that we've kind of transitioned into a makeshift morgue.
I see. I guess we'll look into that after we dissect one of these unfortunate bodies.
She's going to lead the four of you over, kind of away from everyone else. She leads into a back room where no one else is except for just one stone slab table. The room is empty for the most part, but there are different types of medical utensils around the room. Just wait here. I'll be right back with the body.
It seems wasteful to leave bodies in storage. They can serve a better purpose.
Well, they can serve us a purpose now, at a minimum. Wilhelm kind of takes out like a rag and some like beakers and glasses and stuff. I will assist you with this.
Huckleberry produces a scimitar.
No. Let's use more refined instruments. I can find
Huckleberry
like...
puts the scimitar away.
Is there like a scalpel or like kind of knife in here that would be more
Huckleberry produces a
appropriate?
pickaxe.
Yeah, she has all sorts of medical equipment around this.
That is also not it. I'll like pick up like a large scalpel Let's at least do this somewhat correctly.
You can hear footsteps as Alvarina's starting to return.
Huckleberry will put all items away and simply produce claws.
Yeah, those are a little bit too inaccurate. I'll kind of prepare some like glass, not this glass flask and like tongs and stuff.
I find you to be too needy. I have many tools. Have served me well in the past. I don't see why you dislike them.
Just lay the body over there on that table. We'll get started.
So Alvarina comes in. She the body behind her is kind of floating, and it looks very stiff and rigid. And as she lays it down, it floats slowly to it. The body is almost skin and bones at this point. It looks like it maybe was once a humanoid male. It's still wrapped in cloth. But as she lays it down, she takes a few steps back. Okay, I'm going to remove the stasis. When I do, the smell will erupt. She removes it. I think for you all of you have your plate mask on, or don't need it because you can't smell it.
I don't have a nose.
Or, lack olfactory organs, so not necessary. Raisin man.
So to do the dissection, I need a medicine check. Since there's two of you, you can make the roll advantage. Whoever wants to make the medicine check roll.
Yeah, I'll also provide some help with Flash of Genius.
Right.
So you have a +5.
Wow.
+5. I can druid craft my guidance myself, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I can touch myself, so that's fine.
Yeah, I'll kind of just like tidy things up, make a nice little operating area for you.
And then, are you going to be
like,
helping me do it? Like you're working with me to do it?
Yeah, I'm just saying like my Flash of Genius is me just kind of helping you. Like I'm ready with like tongs and like a little
I'm
container.
asking if you're doing help in such ways I get advantage or not.
He said it was
I
at
could
advantage
help
already.
if you want me to.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah,
I will use medicine, add a
Girl.
+5 to that plus an extra. So R1d4.
Mom wants the pickaxe.
Wow.
Let's do
And
level
that's a-
12. Let's go.
It's a 33. Damn, nice.
I told you I'm competent. I'm
So-
good at dissection.
Yeah.
Don't ask why.
So what are you using to dissect, like to cut open the chest here?
I have been forced to use a scalpel against my will.
Okay.
As such, I'll be using the scalpel rather than any of my other faster tools.
And then as you come over to dissect this table is about 6 feet off the ground. So they have to get you like a box or something to stand up on.
Yeah, I would need someone to give me a boost because I can't.
Oh yeah, no, I'd be like, I would
I can
put like
stand
a
on
little like crates underneath it so you could stand up on it.
I am far too small to reach a 6-foot high table. I couldn't even reach. I couldn't even touch the table reaching upwards. Yeah, I am now currently sitting on the table. We're sitting on boxes next to the table, and I'm cutting this body open.
So as you make your first cut, going from the esophagus down the middle of the sternum, right above the stomach, you peel back the skin. Immediately, you can see under the chest cavity, kind of going down into the rib cages, this very large but there's a very large, enormous seed that sits in between. And from this seed, it looks like it's starting to sprout and grow into the veins of this creature.
Crazy.
Wait just a minute. Do I have the spell I would need for this? I do.
I look at my glass container and see it's like obviously not big enough to fit this. I like take out a bigger flask from my pack.
Do not remove the seed from the body. I have an idea.
Oh, okay.
I shall speak with the seed.
Okay.
As you go to speak with the seed, you can see that the seed's also sprouted down into the intestinal tract. And then above the seed, where it's kind of blocked off the esophagus, there is little bits of remnants of food and water where the seed basically blocked the nutrients and absorbed it itself and was growing inside the body.
Cool. So I'm gonna take another 10 minutes.
while they're doing that, can I be looking at the other
I'll
patients and
speak with
seeing if there's any
clients.
like similar physical traits between them?
Yeah, give me investigation.
Gladly.
29. Scholar power. So as he's preparing to speak with the plants, to speak with the seed that's embedded in this person, as you go around to all the other, you go into the ones that aren't dead, right? Like people that are still coughing. and
Yeah,
vomiting.
the ones that are still alive, see if there's any like similar like physical traits, or I don't know if they'd be willing to like talk, maybe tell me what they were doing before they got sick.
So the ones down here, at least in this room, are pretty far along. But you do think if you were to go like maybe more upstairs to where people are just like starting to be sick, they would talk to you. But down here, they're all vomiting, coughing, they can't keep anything down. But you do press on the chest, right where that magical seed is in the other bodies, and you can feel a little lump there.
Disgusting. Okay. I mean, if they're gonna take 10 minutes to cast
It's
that,
actually only 1 minute to cast. It's 10-minute duration. I misread it.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, 1 action to cast, so it's instantaneous
Okay.
basically. I had misread the 10-minute duration as its casting time, but that's not what it is.
Okay.
so-
Then yeah, no.
So while you're
So
pressing
the
on
seed
the
starts-
chest, Oryko, Icy Huckleberry speaks to this seed, or attempts to.
I will now look at the seed and go, Seedling, why are you within the flesh bag?
The dead body with the split open chest immediately sits up. And then the body's mouth speaks to you.
Crazy.
Why am I here?
I was looking to understand that myself. Who are you?
No. Who are we?
You is plural.
We are Valen. I should not be here. He stands up off the table and slowly begins to try to walk. As he's trying to walk, you can tell he doesn't have a good... Like, he's not used to having the legs, and he starts to stumble and fall in front of you.
I would wait. We have opened the front of you. You won't walk very good without the front of you closed. Or the ability to walk good. And at that, I'm going to sort of get off my boxes and shuffle over to where it's now walked over to. Stop. You are Valen. All of you are... I sort of gesture to, like... I'm going to gesture in the direction of, like, the room where all of the dying people are. All of you are Valen, yes?
Yes, it is too soon. I've been open too soon.
My mistake. Would you like me to close you?
Yes. Quickly.
Good. Give me 1 moment. I am not the best at sewing. They are better. And I'll turn back to my my compatriots and speak in actual common instead of just sort of, I don't know, pheromones or however plants talk.
I mean, I assume you guys are speaking in like a wild language, right?
Sort of like...
It's
I
fair.
don't think plants speak druidic,
So just like you just have like a
but
ambient forest noise that you play.
sort of wind through the trees. I'll turn back to them. I have found a few bits of information. First, the seed, I gesture to the seed and the now standing corpse, are Valen.
Mm-hmm.
We opened it too soon. There is a plan underway, certainly, that they are to be opened at a certain point. It has asked me to close it back up again. It hasn't properly taken control of the body. I advise burning, but not yet.
Is
I have more
Fallon a
questions.
name that would be recognized in any way?
Yeah, can I do like a history check or anything like that?
Yeah, make a
Yeah,
history check.
I don't want to spend another 250 gold pieces on that
Mystery.
legend lore.
With those rolls, let's do. Nesyamun gives Oryko advantage so you get that 23. I think that'd be nice.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Do a help instead of a double roll.
Volin's you're not even with the 23, so it's like you've rolled like a really good number, but even with the 23, you're not 100% sure, but the name itself sounds like one of the members of a Fae court, like a lower member of a Fae court from the trance plane of dreams.
Okay.
Awesome.
I feel
So
like I should have some notes about that.
Wilhelm kind of just holds up his little like arcane like focuser, and it just kind of like starts glowing red as he aims it at the body. I recommend you finish your conversation.
Yes, and then I have a few more minutes. I will go and talk to the rest of the bodies. I'm curious if they are able to communicate before they are opened. I'll turn back to
A
Valen.
little horrifying.
Oh, don't worry. There are much worse things in life.
I love fireworks.
Consider it a second use of your sort of suit. I turned back to the sort of the plant zombie. Go. All right, you're Valen. Are you willing to answer a few of my questions before I sew you back up? I know it's urgent for you, but I need to know a few things before I can let you go.
Oh, you must enclose me and let me go to the forest. Calls.
Ah, the forest calls. Excellent. Okay. Well, if you have no other answers for me, I will leave you in the capable hands of my friend. At that, I'm going to sort of gesture to Wilhelm.
Yeah,
And walk away.
I shoot into like his chest cavity,
Jesus
where
Christ.
his seed is at.
As you hit the seed, the body, the person goes. He lets out this howling scream as the seed catches fire and burns and slowly envelops throughout the veins where the tendrils of the seed was starting to intersect.
Huckleberry is now go. Now I'm going to go see if I can ask a few more questions of the ones in the living people. If that is not a problem, in the meantime, I suggest burning the rest of the bodies.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
At least the dead ones.
I get to pretty fast work burning all of the bodies that are currently.
Oh, is this the barbecue?
All the dead ones.
Yeah. I'll like motion to Oryko. Can you go inform her that what just happened?
Yeah, I'll go to try to find Elvir.
She's close by. She's been watching this all take place, but kind of.
Oh,
okay.
she's watching this. Oh, so she just watched me just obliterate this body.
Yeah.
Well, you also,
But she didn't try to-
overheard me say.
She saw it walk
destroy.
up.
She did try to stop you though, because you could tell that she either agrees with or doesn't understand like what's going on. But she's kind of took a step back to let you guys, as the group brought in by the queen, like the experts, to do their thing.
Gonna wander over as a
I would like to
definite
speak to her,
professional
though.
scientist. Yeah, I'm gonna explain the situation to her before I head out into the main room and start asking more questions.
So before you do, I'm curious, as Professor Wilhelm burned that seed, does any of the four of you have reactions like against it or for it? Or is there anything that each of you do when that happens?
I wouldn't have any objections to it, like, as a character. I feel like my character is very, like, this person's already dead and obviously controlled by this thing. It's not alive anymore in my eyes, so burning it, he wouldn't stop the professor.
I mean, Huckleberry might have had an objection if it wasn't for the fact that he literally told him to do it, so...
Yeah, like
Hard for
I
you to go
was,
back
I
and be
was like,
"Why'd you
I
do
was
that?"
waiting on the plants to do the plant thing, and then the plant said to burn it, so that's how I know it was probably not a good thing.
The plant is fine with murder of his own species or others.
It's just part of nature, the cycle.
Yeah, exactly. The ashes
Ashes are good for fertilizer, so.
Parasitic plants are more dangerous to the
No,
ecosystem.
Wilhelm's trust for you went up after he like realized you actually knew what you were doing with like medicine. I was like, okay.
So
I look entirely incompetent. Then I show up and it's like, I know what the disease is. I can talk to the plant and I can dissect the body. We're good.
This guy knows what these guys good.
And then while you guys have done this, Nesyamun, is there anything that you would do, or do you even know what's going on when they're doing it? He's kind of staring.
He still thinks he's at the fair and that this is like a barbecue.
Nesyamun starts clapping for the fireworks show.
I wish I had some sausages.
Oh,
How odd.
But
odd
fingers
fellow.
constitute sausages at this point.
What?
I
Nothing.
think he was recruited for his immunity to this disease, probably.
This is a disease.
That seems likely.
That's a shame.
Yes. I'll go around and burn all the bodies.
Yeah, I'm gonna go talk to Alvirina before I head out and do. Just
I like to find a
chat,
nice
'cause
chair to sit in.
I have a time limit, but just quick information.
I can talk to her if you want to talk to the plants.
Okay.
Not waste your 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'll just go. I will come back and give more information when I am done with my research.
Okay, let's do.
I'm an archaeologist, you know.
Oh, what?
Oryko talk to Alvarina, and then we'll do Huckleberry with the end of his spell. I jump around.
Sounds good.
Oryko will approach Alrina and say, I think the bodies that have been disappearing have probably all just been possessed and walked away themselves. I don't think anyone has been taking them. At least that's my current theory with what just happened.
I think you might be right. Maybe when you're finished down here, if you check the makeshift morgue, maybe there are some signs of them leaving that we could follow.
Yes, I would like to see if maybe there was a way that they all went, if they all went the same direction or something. If you could show me where that was.
Sure, of course. Whenever you're ready, I'll show you the morgue.
I think we're gonna be finishing up with some of the bodies, and he'll see the professor burning another one next to him and be like, I think he'll be done soon.
This makes much more sense now that of why I was never able to pick up a disease or any kind of magic on these creatures. I don't even know if you would call this a parasite. I guess it's a parasite, even though it's a seedling. So many.
Yes, it seems to control its host body and stealing its nutrients. Do you know if maybe it's something they all consumed? Maybe if they all have been eating a certain crop or at a certain inn or bar? Tavern.
I'm not sure. We'd have to ask some of those infected what they were eating or what they drank. 'Cause this would not be airborne, right?
I don't believe it would be. I feel it's more something they consumed. So the ones upstairs, they're still more, what is it, coherent?
Yeah, maybe we should speak to them before we, on the way up to look at the morgue.
I agree. Thank you.
And as you finish talking, Icy Huckleberry, you go up to some of the patients down here that are pretty close to death. They're still writhing and vomiting.
Yeah, I'm gonna sort of call out to the group actually, see if I can also try to get a gauge of like if the ones that are slightly less progressed are like more or less able to be communicated with via the spell.
As you kind of walk through the corridor here, you get the ones that look like they're much farther along. There are skin and bones. Their lips are chapped from vomiting so much. As you reach out, you can feel like you could talk to the seeds inside their chests. Then as you get to ones that have a little bit more meat, they don't look too withered, but they're still vomiting and coughing. You don't feel the presence of the seed yet, and there's like the seed hasn't like birth maturity yet.
Hasn't reached proper plant form yet. It's still just a seed.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Bruce, I'm gonna send you something because I don't really understand if this applies to any of this.
Okay.
It's just worded weird.
So I'm going to
No rush on that.
speak out to the I'm just gonna call it Valen. Is that you? Am I right?
So
You
the-
are Valen.
Help me. I must leave this place.
Well, where are you going? I can take you there if you tell me.
He slowly raises his arm up and points to the stairs.
More specific, if you could. Once you're past the stairs, I assumed you're leaving the building.
The winds, the air, it calls me.
Hmm.
Can you see it? He points up. It's very, very, very faint, and you wouldn't have seen it unless it was pointed out to you, but it's almost like there's a little bit of pollen trail that leads out of this basement. Kind of goes upward. It's almost like like Last of Us, where you put the mask on when you go underground. You see that little bit of just that little faint pollen.
Would I be able to follow it, do you think, without the use of these guys?
I'm not sure if when you go upstairs, you're not sure once you get outside if it would be there or not, but you could try.
Hmm. All right. Well, do you have anything else you'd like to tell me about where you're from, what your goals are beyond leaving? If I could help, I'd love to.
Who I must assimilate. No. Then he coughs. He goes into a heavy coughing fit and he spits up some dark blood.
Oh, that's grim. One last question, and then I'll help you out. How's that sound?
Hurry.
Do you have any of the memories of being a human? Any of the knowledge and such? Or just the body?
They are not allowed to interfere.
Excellent. Well, I just love parasites. They're so helpful. I'm going to give you a little boost along your way. And I am going to cast Infestation. As I sort of I place my hand on the body and just a series of ants
I don't like that.
and bugs crawl out from underneath the bark and stuff in his arms and just burrow their way into the body.
So all of you watches this happens to this body.
And
Side effects at all.
I specify that the bugs sort of go and try to destroy the actual plant
Do we even see
inside.
this? Because I think all of us are downstairs, right?
Yeah, I'm in the other room.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we don't even.
So just a bunch of
this.
a bunch of other patients and stuff, and maybe whoever's watching over it just watches I send insects in to devour this corpse.
There's a couple doctors walking around the plague mass that are trying to help, and they watch it. They watch for a second. As they do, they just kind of. Well, no one that's caught this has lived, so he just helped ease their suffering.
That was the goal, I say unconvincingly. I don't think I have any more questions for the seeds, and I suspect I'm going to start running out of time. Anyway, so I'm going to head back to the group.
Okay.
And I'm going to now relay the information I have and my inference. Having spoken to the bodies, well, the seeds inside, I have a few pieces of information. The first is that those that are still more plump, like yourselves, the seed has not yet properly sprouted, and as such is not communicatable. Those that are on the border of the beyond are able to be communicated with, much like the dead. Their goal is to follow this trail, I sort of indicate the pollen, to the woods. I am not certain if we'd be able to follow it ourselves. Worst case scenario, we can use one of them as a guide.
I
This
am quite
infestation-
proficient in following
This
stuff like that.
infestation is a problem. It's a bunch of parasites, and I suggest we clear them out before they spread and ruin the entire crop.
Agreed. Well, this has been most useful.
Just realized I should have asked them where they come from. Or how they spread, but too late for that, I guess. I'm
We can
assuming
still
I've run
figure
out
that
of. I'm assuming I've run out of speak with plants, right?
Yeah, it's been long 10 minutes.
Yeah, I thought so. So I won't be able to go back and ask that.
I want to go to the more conscious people that are sick. There are some people that are like still like conscious, right?
Yeah, so they're probably a couple days in, about a week till they die. So these people are probably like 3 or 4 days in once you get up to the next floor above you.
Okay, so they're still able to talk.
They're just they're eating, they're trying to, so as you go up the stairs, you see these people, they're sitting in beds, they're starting to wither away, but they're trying to eat to get some sort of nutrients. But now you guys will know as they eat, they're not getting anything into their stomach, it's all being absorbed by the seed. So they're just smashing food into their face, drinking water, coughing as they
bother
do.
feeding them.
In fact, I think maybe feeding them might be making it worse.
Do not feed them.
All right.
In fact, I am intrigued.
I'll go up to some of them that are like the best looking, I would say.
The more attractive ones?
Yeah, the more attractive ones.
You go up to this common folk male model. He's got really long hair and a ponytail, nice chiseled jawline.
Oh, we can't let this one die.
Too sexy to die. I'm definitely gonna go up to a bunch of them and just kind of ask around what they were doing a few days ago, and if they like were near anyone else, ate anywhere that wasn't their own like home, or bought food from somewhere.
Or what specific foods they ate.
Yeah, as well. It's kind of like 4 general questions.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let them know like we're working on a cure right now, and that we've just had like our first major break. Hopefully, give them a little bit of hope.
The common the theme, as you talk to a couple of them at once, they all kind of speak as they can while they're hunched over, kind of writhing in pain, but they all say that they haven't left the town, that they've ate normal food from the area, nothing really that jumped out at them, drank water from the town's well. A couple of them say they went and ate at the Wild Spirit Inn, which is like the inn for the town, and had a meal there with the grumpy old lady named Agatha. They all talk as a nice old lady, just doesn't like the situation. They say they never feel sick until they wake up the next morning. It's after they wake up that they start to feel, if they feel ill for the first time.
I have a theory I would like to test with some of you, if you would be willing.
Can I just understand quickly? So did they all mention having had a meal with Agatha, or just a few?
Just a few.
Okay, so the only through line is that it was always the next morning.
Yep, it's always the next morning. They never left. They ate normal food. They drank water from the well, the town's well.
Yeah, that was my first point of suspicion, is the well. Because that is something everyone would drink out of, except maybe like the Baron, who would maybe have like a private well or something.
Yes, so that would be worth investigating. I also have a test I wish to run.
We're going to ask them not to eat or drink.
I would like to take one that is freshly infected and deprive them of all food.
That's
And-
one way of doing it.
See
What if we
if
just
it
eat it? See
clears
what
the
happens.
infection. That will kill off the sapling before it kills off the host.
I agree. That
It'd
was
be worth testing.
So Alvarina's downstairs still before she comes up, but another doctor is going to approach you guys. Hi, I'm Philomer. I was listening. Do you think we should deprive them of meals? That's
Do
his name.
not feed
yes.
them. They are not receiving the nutrients in any case. It is a waste of your food.
It is a parasite that takes all the nutrients, so that could
Keep
mean
them
it could
away from sunlight
die.
as well.
Yeah.
That is potentially helpful, but unclear at the moment, but worth a try.
Philomer's going to turn to the people that can still understand. Do you hear that? We just have to make sure that you don't eat. And maybe it will kill whatever is hosting inside you. Maybe we should take this a step further. And he's going to walk over to this cupboard. He's going to open it. He's going to pull out all of these different types of straps to strap people to the beds. And he's going to look at all of you and he's going to hand you some. Help me. We'll strap them down.
Excellent.
Let's
This is
do
exactly what
a
Huckleberry was
small
looking for.
set of tests.
Yes.
You don't want to have too many people getting angry.
I
I'm
have
scared.
I have 4 tests I wish to run. Well, 1 test, 4 variables. 1 group, normal. 1 group, no water. 1 group, no food. 1 group, neither.
As brutal as it sounds, I have to agree. These people are doomed to die anyways. There
If we
hasn't been a
fast.
single case, right? Of someone surviving.
No one has lived so far.
Would
Oh,
be
then.
best to use the recently infected. The longer down the line, the least likely they are to survive the ordeal.
Yes. Surprisingly scientific for a tree. I like
do
it.
research and study of a sort.
My recommendation would be to strap everyone down then. And we will just feed the ones as we need be. Make sure we have a controlled environment here. I don't trust any of them. But all of you
Keep
help
in
me strap
mind-
these men down.
Any who die are to be burned
Yes.
or destroyed with some other means. Acid, insects, anything that would kill a plant. Speaking of, I have another research I wish.
We're
I have
probably
another test I wish to
so
do, but that
fucking
will be
creepy.
later.
We're just like a bunch of people that show up in plague mask and tell them to stop feeding. These
Can you imagine these people are like dying? They're sitting in their chairs. They're going to get
they're-
strapped down and starved.
They feel like they're starving to death. They're trying to eat, and we're like, do not let them eat.
you
Do
might
not
want to
let them
get some
drink.
guards in here that can prevent them. After a few days, they might become aggressive and hostile.
Before we strap them down, I think we might need the guards to help us hold them down as well.
Yeah. Man, we're being evil as fuck right now.
This isn't evil. This is a necessary.
Yeah, like, I
Um,
mean, it just, like, appears evil as fuck to the people we're
It's
doing it to, though.
Incredibly utilitarian in its approach is what it is.
Yeah.
But
Those
I
are the
mean,
people we're
that,
doing
that
it to.
fits. I don't know about the rest of you. That fits Huckleberry to a T. Like,
Oh no, I'm totally down to do that. Like Wilhelm is like, I want to see if this is actually the best way to cure this because it would make sense to him.
Huckleberry recognizing in Wilhelm someone willing to do what needs to be done.
So does
I would also-
Nesyamun or Oryko not want to strap down the infected? Was there any like objections?
I think he'd more so want to observe, just making sure he's keeping notes on the infected and how they react to everything.
Doesn't want to get
No
his hands
details,
dirty.
too little. Well, no, it's just like somebody has to be aware. Anything could be a hint to anything.
Someone's got to.
I respect it. You're documenting. Okay. Yeah, I'll help strap down.
Give me some
um,
athletics checks as anyone that wants to help like hold these people down.
Oh, I'm not gonna be good at that, man. I'm weak as hell.
Roll good then.
Can I have used guidance on myself? I mean, it's probably not going to get me to anything beyond a max of an 8.
Yeah, it's
but
not gonna help you. It's not gonna help you.
It's not going to do anything for me.
So Oryko doesn't want to help. Does Nesyamun want to help hold people down?
He's not even up there. He's still downstairs.
Okay. You're just wandering around in the basement.
He's just kind of sitting in a chair, rocking back and forth, like, it's a good
Where'd
day
everyone
today.
go?
Where'd the sun go?
So, Professor Wilhelm, you have the help of a guard. You both push down one of these. He's definitely withered away. He looks like he was a farmer. You push him down. His eyes are just like full of fear. Then you wrap around the bed, tying his legs and arms down. Icy Huckleberry, you have another guard. Got to push someone down. This looks like he's a little more stout, a little more muscular dwarf. As you push him down, he just erupts and pushes you back. And he's, no, I will not. And then a couple more guards rush over as you pick yourself off of the ground. They push him down too. They strap him down.
I was just going to bring my hand up with the insect starting to crawl.
Jesus Christ.
Make your choice, boy.
Horrifying and helpful at the same time.
You'll hear like a tapping on the floor, like somebody, like you have a neighbor below you in an apartment, like poking the roof with a broom.
Oh,
Hear
yeah.
that for a second.
We left Nesyamun down there.
I
I'll
am
go
slow.
retrieve him.
So loud.
Before you go, Wilhelm, I have another suggestion. Seeing in Wilhelm someone willing to sort of do what needs to be done, like I said, I'm going to go over to Wilhelm and say, if these are plants, then pesticide would potentially deal with them. That could also be worth testing. I think perhaps presenting poisoned food to us, one or two, could be worth investigating.
I would have to look into what plants would be vulnerable to and not humans.
The human being vulnerable is an unnecessary worry.
That's true. We just have to do enough damage to kill the parasite without
Worst
killing the
case
host.
scenario, if the host is still alive, even if heavily injured, I can deal with it.
We
I
can
have
try
means.
something.
I have means of repairing the broken.
I'm gonna get Nesyamun from the basement, I guess.
As you do, as he walks upwards, whenever his jaw drops, that's little bits of pollen that you saw kind of floating in the area kind of just falls out of his mouth because he doesn't have a mask on.
I look forward to using Nesyamun as a research subject as well.
He's just gonna be able to walk into infected areas.
It's gonna get goofy. It's gonna get pretty bad.
I mean, I'm not convinced about the efficacy of these helmets. So next long rest, I think I'm gonna prep air bubble, and we won't have to worry.
We'll know if they work if everybody else is sick, but I'm not. So
But
we'll
I have
know.
a suspicion they're not useful, considering they've already mentioned that people wearing them have gotten infected. But I'd rather not take a chance at the moment.
Time is of the essence.
As a side note, as Professor Wilhelm is going downstairs to get Nesyamun, the same plague doctor that was helping you guys tie down the patients, Philomer, is going to approach Huckleberry and Oryko. And he's going to say, while I have you, there's something urgent that no one seems to care about that I could use your help with.
Certainly. What can I help you
What
with,
is it?
Doctor?
Air filters for our masks. We're running out. The last supply drop was 3 days ago. We were meant to get a crate, but we got nothing. And I tried to reach out to the Balefire Knights outpost, but our communication with the guards at the barricade was minimal. They generally just shout, tell us to get away. My concerns so fallen on deaf ears, but you can leave here, right? You can go back and see if they can deliver us more filters. Maybe Dr. Mira has some?
I believe those at the outpost are under the assumption that there was more filters here. You said that there was an empty delivery the last time?
Yeah, we were supposed to get a crate from them, but we didn't get anything. We have maybe enough for a few days, maybe 2 tops before we run out.
Hmm.
At least,
That is strange.
enough filters for our medical team. We can take care of the sick.
Yes, I can certainly try sending a message to them, see if they have any extra that they can send over. About how far away is the outpost from like the watchtower for the town city?
About an hour walk. It's not too far, but they just can't leave to go walk to it because they're in quarantine. If you guys
Lot
were to
of
walk back, you
space.
could go back and visit Dr. Mira. You could just get washed down as you got there and all that good stuff. But you can go back and report anytime you want to the outpost.
Do any of us have sending?
I
That works
have
too.
message cantrip.
Yeah, not a not on my spell list. I could get Skyrite, but I'd have to take a long rest and reset up my spell list.
We don't have time for that. Yeah, we'll have to go back
Not
then.
exactly. I don't think it's necessary to
They
go
don't
back.
have mask here.
I mean,
We
if
only
I
have
can
2
message
days.
them, maybe we don't need to get washed down. I speed up the
Huckleberry
process a little.
will hand Philomer the filter that's not installed into his mask already.
Oh, thank you. This is such a relief.
I will have no need of this.
I don't want to end up strapped to a bed.
Yeah, I'm definitely just gonna take air bubble next level, next rest.
Yeah, we just need this test to go as long as possible.
Yes.
About this point, you'd have Dr. or Professor Wilhelm walking downstairs and seeing Yaman, Yaman,
Someone,
sitting in a chair,
someone.
rocking back and forth.
Hey.
Yes, Yaman.
What are you doing in my house?
We're going
Who are
for a
you?
walk pretty soon.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, come with us. Get some
Okay.
fresh air.
Are you my grandson?
No, I'm not your grandson.
Oh. Is he up there?
Maybe.
Okay. I'm coming. He'll slowly get up, sit back down for a second, blink at you, and then get back up and go after you.
Nesyamun with his 0 intelligence and 0 wisdom.
He's got Alzheimer's.
Exactly.
Ooh.
God.
I want to see what combat how he fights.
It's pretty ridiculous. It's very ridiculous.
Let's
I
see
don't
if you
know if
walk
you
up.
looked at some of the bullshit I picked up on him, but yeah, it's gonna be nonsense.
I look forward to it. I will also be creating nonsense.
So as you walk up the stairs, we haven't took a break yet. You guys want to do a quick 5-minute break? They come back.
Yeah.
Yes,
That'd be
Yeah,
nice.
sure.
We would roleplay for 2 hours straight. Let's
I
go.
need to grab water.
All right. I'll be right back.
All right, chat. We'll be right back. Couple minutes, and we'll see you soon. We're back.
Ooh.
Dun, 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 dun. Almost ready. I put that play mask in Discord because it's cool looking. Lock it for now.
Yeah, I mean, not cancel. I mean, I've already given away my second filter, so I don't have it anymore. But I don't tend to need it.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
gonna-
taking the one thing, right?
Hmm?
You're taking the one air bubble spell, right?
Yeah, I'll prep air bubble at the next rest, and that way we don't need to worry about running out of filters or whatever. It costs me 1/3 level spell slot, and I can give everyone except for Nesyamun a 24-hour air supply. So
While we're waiting for comment, I'm gonna do a 1-minute ad break so we don't get ads in the last hour.
yeah, that's a good shout. But yeah, briefly explaining what we're doing in not what I meant to do. Briefly explaining what we're doing to my family upstairs. I went up to get a drink. I was informed that they think that we're the bad guys.
See?
Are the bad guys, man.
And I
So
said,
you- yeah, man.
we showed up to a town full of infected people. We've now dissected a body, killed off a patient, and have decided to have all the other ones strapped and sort of divide them into sections. Some get food, some get water, some get both, some get neither, and some are going to get poisoned food.
Yeah. Science.
Apparently that's what bad people do.
In the names of science.
Hey, if a few of the people who are going to die anyway have to die so the rest don't, that's a net positive.
Now a bad time to say I have purify food and water. Crazy.
The point isn't that we think the food is infected. The point is we don't want to feed the creature inside of them.
Whoa.
I mean, purified food and water will be good for us in case it's in the food or the water. Oh, you know what we could do? Take people that aren't infected. Purify the food and water for half of them. Don't purify it for the other half and just figure out where it's coming from.
I mean, I feel like this is probably how it would be done, but yeah. God.
Strike force from the government.
I mean, I think this is typically how it worked in like the 90s, or like not the 90s, but the 1900s.
In the 90s.
They would just see what shit worked and what didn't.
It's like, alright, time to find... Some of you may die, but that is a price I'm willing to pay.
Hey, Bruce?
Yep.
So I'm looking at like some of your cyberware stuff. The wallware, is that just like... Can it just put like a bunch of 5-foot tall walls just like all over the place?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
You can make your own like stuff to hide behind. Or you can like box
6
people in.
inches, 6 inches thick.
if you make 5-foot walls, I won't be able to see it.
I don't think I read this one. I think I just looked at wallware. I was like, that doesn't sound interesting. Now that I'm actually reading it, this shit's ridiculous. It's
Wallware, that can't be interesting. It's just wall.
like, oh, it's walls.
Wait
Oh,
a second.
I can float and carry 500 pounds? All right, hang on. What can I do with this? How goofy can this get? So in theory, could I make like a floating staircase up to the heavens every turn?
Let me look. 'Cause I can't remember if I put how much time I put on
It doesn't seem to have any limitation. There's like a 1-minute timer on for each like individual thing. So like if I just wanted to leave, could I just take a turn to get like another 5 feet into the air, just keep going. Just
Yeah,
leave.
so it lasts for 1 minute. You do it when you make like a weapon attack, or after, because you do
That's It's really funny.
you use your adrenaline rush. Do you have so many adrenaline rushes that you can use per day? And you
Yeah,
with
yeah,
it,
I
you
saw
would like
that.
you'd spawn a wall with your adrenaline rush. Basically, like injecting yourself, and then it like makes it come out.
Yeah, I saw the adrenaline stuff.
Yeah.
Is that a whole action or is that just an attack? I forget. I can't like look at it in menus.
It's part of the attack.
Well, I mean, does it give you? I forget. Does adrenaline just give you one attack, or does it give you like your action?
Adrenaline rush. So you add cyberware mods to your body, and then adrenaline rush activates whatever mod you have installed. Each mod has like something different. Like one is heal
Oh, I
wear.
thought adrenaline rush was like the fighter thing for some reason.
Oh, do they all activate at the same time?
So you can activate 2 at once at level 11. So you can activate 2 now at a time.
That's cool.
Then you
I
pick what to
haven't
like
looked over it.
you pick what to install onto your body.
Yeah, I had one already set up. I just didn't know what I wanted the second one to be, so I was like looking through it real quick. I saw the wall thing and thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, one like turns you invisible after you attack. Some of them give you allies 10 HP. And like some Cyberpunk 2077.
I thought about the magnet wear just because, like, I started thinking of like the Halo 2 boss with this fucking hammer.
Yeah.
So I was like, did I just do that to people?
So basically, whenever you activate your Crimson Right on your weapon, as a Blood Hunter, you activate, like it sparks your adrenaline, and then you get
Yeah,
your stacks.
I saw the adrenaline rush thing, and I thought that was like the fighter feat. And I was like, oh, I just get that. It's wild.
Oh, my bitrate's crashing. Why is this happening?
I think it's called adrenaline rush.
Man, I think my next character's gonna be a wizard. I just popped into the wizard subclass. There's some cool stuff in here. Look at that later.
Yeah, but are you a cyberpunk character?
No, but I could be a chef.
That's pretty cool too, man.
Oh, the School of Culinary Arts or whatever.
You make food that has buffs.
Culinary arts.
I was really tempted to play that because I was like, that'd be funny as fuck. Just
Yeah.
whip up like some good food.
I have prepared a gazpacho. This should help cure your broken arm.
Why is my bitrate doing this?
I have prepared for you the rarest of foods, hot gazpacho. It's spicy.
How many adrenaline rushes do I get normally? Is it the 4? Or is this all the same level? That you get these things?
When you use Crimson Right, you gain 3 adrenaline rush charges.
Okay. God, there's fucking blood hunters. There's so much shit, man.
Yep. It is the exact example of, none of us want to attack with a weapon unless it's at the end of an extremely long and complicated Rube Goldberg machine.
That's pretty much what this build is, dude.
Alright, bitrate's back. Cool. I was getting scared there for a minute. That was weird.
Where is Comet? The only character here that might have some semblance of a moral compass.
And I'm back. Sorry.
I have a
good.
moral compass. I just do what needs to be done.
I also have a moral compass. I just forgot what it was.
There you go.
So if you've
Need to find
lost
your
your moral
memories.
compass because you're not sure where you put it, you don't have it anymore.
It's there. I just don't know where. It's that though.
That's called losing something.
Oh no.
Alright, we're back.
You don't understand.
Comet's back, so we're good to go. We left off as Professor Wilhelm, Nesyamun was coming back up the stairs, and then Icy Huckleberry and Oryko had just talked to Wilhelm about the masks. So as you guys are now back together as 4, what would y'all like to do?
I'm gonna just quickly catch them up on the thing about the masks, but
That's
Huckleberry does not see it
Suspicious.
as an urgent issue. Mostly because it doesn't seem like the masks are going to do anything.
Yeah, after that, I'm not too confident these things even work.
Plants
Which makes
don't
me...
typically reproduce airborne.
I mean, unless it's in the pollen.
That is more fungi that reproduce by spores. For a seed to exist, it must be a seed.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Thus the pollen is required to impollinate the seed that they've already consumed.
Yeah, if everyone just already has it somehow, and then the pollen is the new thing that has started to cause a plague, because then they're starting to actually be pollinated. So maybe the masks are useful still.
Well, likely not for us in that case.
Because we haven't consumed anything that would make us have a seed, I assume.
I would like to
This is
investigate the
just a running
insides of a
theory.
non-infected person, but I don't think I will be allowed to do so. We shall have to go without.
Yeah, if only there was a way to just review them without opening them.
That would remove half the fun.
We have very different definitions of fun.
That's likely true.
I would like to suggest something. I think the well and possibly that inn where they were eating are good
I
places
agree.
to look. And then
'Cause
also
we
checking
could
out the
even
forest.
I feel like that should be the last place we check once we check out everything in the town.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
If we go to the inn, I think talking to the innkeeper would be the best option. You know, asking maybe what's a popular drink or popular dish that everyone likes to order.
It's a good idea. I say we go to the well and then the inn. We should have enough time left in the day for both.
The well seems more likely. Some did not eat at the inn. I would also check perhaps the food source of the town, be that a storage or what have you.
The innkeeper would probably know
Indeed.
where. I mean, they have to buy their supplies from somewhere.
Is that where you get your supplies? Interesting.
Yeah, it's like a trade and barter system. That's how our economy is.
I did wonder how these settlements formed. Interesting.
Yeah. I also find society very interesting.
I don't know. I've not often seen the beginnings of a settlement. More so the end.
Well, let's try to prevent the end of this one, if we can.
If we have to. He says that sort of nonchalantly, as if it's not a weird thing to say. Then he heads off on his way.
Are you guys gonna walk out of the dungeon? Is that the plan?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
we're gonna go look in the well and then head to the inn after
and
that.
the inn.
And then we could probably rest at the inn for the night.
It's definitely a dungeon now.
Oh, is it bedtime?
We in the boonies.
Before I forget,
Not quite yet.
go to your guys' playlist, top right corner, where the volume is, and then turn ambient all the way down. Some of the maps are MP4s, and they have like background. So if you turn ambient all the way down, you won't get the map sound. You'll get my sound instead.
Where do you?
Top right corner,
I'm at.
there's the playlist button,
Oh,
and then
See,
I do have.
it just occurred to me that I had already muted the playlist from when I was doing character creation because I was listening to other stuff.
Yeah, me too. I turned it
Me
back on
too.
now.
I just remembered. I'm like, oh, hey, wait, there's supposed to be music.
Sorry, Bruce,
You're good.
if you were mix mastering. Oh my god.
Oh, boy.
But I already had ambient down to 0, luckily. I
That's
had playlists up to like 20% though.
shout out to Monument Studios for all the sound today. So,
Ambient was maxed. Playlist was minimum.
all the sounds, all the sound effect sounds. We have like a full rework of all the music, which is pretty cool.
Awesome.
Shout out to those guys. As you guys,
Cool.
you come up from the dungeon, put yourself in the middle of the town square. The whole market area of Wayford here Market Square takes up a large portion of the small town's overall land, as everything else is basically just farmlands outside surrounding the area. With the quarantine in effect, though, the square is very quiet. A few people will walk by. Some are browsing wares, but the stalls that you can see here have very little left. So there's no goods being brought into town, so it's almost like you're in a ghost town for the most part. It's pretty obvious where the well is. There's a well in the center of this area. Across from the well, you also see a sign which says Wild Spirit's Inn. So you know you're pretty close also to the tavern here. But if you approach the well first, there's a pretty makeshift rope. Leads down to a very large bucket. There's a couple other buckets laying against the side. Well's made of stone, rises up about 3 feet off the ground here. But no one is around you to really give you any cause for pause, except for a couple guards that are nonchalantly just kind of giving you a look as you walk over towards the well.
I'm gonna get a bucket of water, and I'm gonna take some of it and put it into like some vials that I have from my alchemist kit.
I want to sort of look around the well to see if I see like growth of plants and stuff that seem unusual. So just scanning around, especially in the water, if there's like perhaps a any kind of duckweed or something of that nature, or just roots that are coming in.
Sure. So as you, Mr. Wilhelm will crank up the water. As he does, Icy Huckleberry kind of looks around the side. There is a little bit of algae, like fungus, on the northern side of the well here, which also would be the side to where the forest is. But nothing, no growth that really jumps out at you as alarming from the look, except for the algae.
Algae or fungus?
A fungus.
Okay, and the previous plant was not a fungus. It was a proper plant.
Yep.
Okay, but it's not necessarily related.
Water
I will point
is...
out the fungus, but I'll also mention that I don't think it's related because it's not necessarily related because what we were dealing with before is not fungal.
When you pull up the water looks very clear. You can feel a little bit of chill coming from it. It's because you're a very intelligent person. It looks almost like perfect water. Like you normally when you pull up a well, you might see a little bit of stuff inside. It's not like a perfectly clear river water. This water looks like it is pristine and delicious. Like it's been through a filter.
Hmm.
Do you think there'd be any harm in purifying it?
As all of you look at it, all four of you actually, all four of you will roll a wisdom save as you look at this water in the bucket.
Oh.
Okay.
I am good at that.
Ooh, I wish I rolled better.
Wisdom save, you say?
Oh, I'm gonna give the Nesyamun the raisin advantage. I think.
Hey.
Let me just check. I think I can do it. 1 second.
Yes, your reaction.
Yeah, it's a reaction. So yeah, I'll give him advantage on that.
Is this like an effect that's happening to us?
Yeah. It's like you look at it
So
and it's almost like it
thirsty.
overcomes you and you just want to drink it because it looks so delicious.
Don't think the 14 is gonna necessarily help him with that, but it's
So
better than the
thirsty.
9.
28 and the 19, Icy Huckleberry and Professor Wilhelm, you feel like the water looks good, but you're not drawn to it. For the 14, Nesyamun, you and Oryko, both of you want to drink this, and both of you reach out to grab the bucket from Professor Wilhelm.
I'm so
Don't like
hard.
that.
Do
Give me
not
that water.
touch it.
Give it to me now.
I mean,
What the- I'm gonna
I think
hold
my
up the
water
bucket.
skin's a little empty. I could refill here.
Where'd you
No.
get that water?
Raisin, do not touch the water.
I don't
Oryko,
think you should drink
not touch
this,
it either.
Oryko. I
That well over
Well,
there.
test it first. All right.
Just to be
I'd
cautious.
like to go to the well, please.
You can jump into the well?
I'm just trying to get water out of the well.
Oh,
It's just
gotcha,
holding the bucket.
Could I pull him away from the well using Thorn Whip?
Actually, Bruce, how is it dark out?
No, it's a little
Okay, never
like 3
mind.
o'clock in the afternoon or so.
Would you
Like,
say
how
there's like
tempted am I?
shadows?
But yeah, there's a little bit of shadow being cast from the cloudy sky and from the buildings.
1 second. Read this.
Would I still be like cautious, or would it be kind of like an caring type of desire to drink it?
It's not like like you're charmed and you want to drink it. You feel drawn to it, basically.
Oh, okay. So
But
it's not like some
force
crazy
you.
shit, like do something stupid kind of levels of.
Yeah, it's not forcing you, but I mean, if your character has like not really strong self-control or discipline, then you'd probably be like, "Oh my god, I need to get it right now."
Well,
I was trying to
character's a little
determine how far I was
paranoid,
gonna
so I'd
go
like
down
to
that
take a
way.
minute to cast or ritually cast Purify food and drink. You know?
Question, Bruise, while we're waiting for that to go off. I felt the pull a little bit and went, no, that's not right. Do I ID that as being magical in nature?
With the
Was there a way I
28,
can-
you would think it's something magical that would draw you to it, since you rolled so high.
Hell yeah. Love having high wisdom.
Grandson, please. I am so thirsty.
Wilhelm, the draw is arcane. I suspect that there is something going on with the water. I
Interesting. I didn't notice that, but
could attempt to dispel it and see what the effect is.
You notice as soon as Oryko finishes the purify food and drink, Oryko, as you're looking at the water, it's purified and it just looks like water, and it kind of disappoints you. Now you're not as pulled to it as you once were.
The water is less sexy now that you've purified it.
Or
Well, I would say that's a good thing. We wouldn't want, whatever that was to affect any of the townsfolk.
Yes. Clearly, there is something magical going on with the well. I do not have the ability to identify magic.
I
with
love
my
magic
skill
tricks.
set, but I could potentially dispel it if we wanted to get rid of whatever is in the water. Could dispel whatever this arcane effect that seems to draw people in is.
I feel like when I purified it, it was fine. I could try to just purify in the well down there.
Yes, that would be perhaps a better choice. Would use up less of my power.
Yes, as most of my spells that I cast are rituals, so they don't require any spell slots. As a scholar, he'll kind of fix his glasses. He'll put them on as he'll cast it again on the well instead of the bucket.
Okay. So as you start to go through the motions of doing the ritual, a lot of the guards now are kind of watching, and you see a couple of townsfolk kind of open the shutters and look out into the courtyard and watch you as you purify this.
Don't worry, that's my grandson.
I'll look around. Is there any suspicious people that are looking at us with disdain while they're doing that?
So it's kind of changed now. When you were first entering, they looked at you with disdain, but now they're watching you. They can see that you're trying to help them, and they see that you're trying to purify their drinking water, so they seem to have softened up to your presence.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm more looking for anyone that in the crowd. Is there anyone that's not happy with this happening, or?
That seems suspicious.
No one really.
Suspicious.
No one looks at. Yeah, no one really jumps out at you as
Okay.
that would give you cause for pause.
Yeah, when we first came, they all looked at us with suspicion, and after they saw all the great things we did in the basement, they were like, oh, these are our friends now.
Luckily, they haven't seen that.
It's like, they're chill. They went into the basement, and everyone seems to be okay with them. Now they're doing rituals in the water. These guys are cool.
We are sent by the queen. Everything is okay, guys. This is
You
totally
We're
justified.
sent by the government. Don't ask no questions.
You said that this was magical. or arcane, right?
Yes, it appears to be magical. Arcane, perhaps not, but magical certainly.
Seems like
I do not know
someone
if it's
has.
primal magic or not.
Do I have a vial of the liquid still?
You do, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna see what the properties of this are tonight when we have a place to settle down. We can see if this is some kind of nefarious or malicious magic.
Yes, quite.
The illness itself was not magical in nature, but whatever causes it could be.
Correct. Now, we wish to visit the inn. If I'm not mistaken, though I think this might be our best lead. I also have another idea. I wish to test something on a subject. I mean a patient. I have a potential solution.
What do you have?
I have means to potentially destroy the plant within them while allowing the victim, the infected, to heal themselves, to restore some level of life. But I'm not certain if it will work. But I am interested to try.
You can try some tomorrow, possibly.
I don't intend to keep the spell till tomorrow if it does not work. I will be testing it this evening before I rest.
Well,
But I do not need to test it now.
all right.
But I just wanted to mention I will be going back and I will be testing something on somebody. Do
Very
not
well.
worry for the reactions you might hear from others.
If you want to go do that, inform the doctor that the water was suspicious. We'll know more tomorrow. We can go talk to the inn if you want to go do that real quick.
Excellent. I will go inform the elven lady, and I shall do my
I'll
test.
seek
million-
out
Nalaman,
Miss Agatha.
not Elvin.
Same difference.
All right, I'll go
You
to
are
the
all
inn
the
and
same
look
to
for
me.
Agatha while he does that.
You guys are splitting?
Whoever wants to follow.
Yeah, I'm gonna head back to the basement. I want to potentially kill another infected person, but I don't know
Oryko,
if it will or not.
Oryko and Nesyamun, which one do you want to go? Do you want to go with Wilhelm or do you want to go with Huckleberry or something else you want to do?
I don't know why I'd follow a tree, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to follow the professor.
Okay.
My grandson. Where are you going?
We're gonna go.
I think I'd like to go to the inn, but I'm also just like a little curious as to what the tree is going to do. So I think Oryko's also a little tempted by his curiosity and will follow the tree.
Who were those guys?
Who are those two that we just
Following us around. That was weird.
Some friends, I think. Let's head to the inn.
Let's flip a coin.
I don't know them.
In first.
All right. I mean, we're right here, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna. Oh, we have a map.
Fancy.
I don't know if Huckleberry and Oryko can see this because it's token vision. You might be able to see it on stream.
It's pitch black.
Yeah. Here, I'll put you guys in the corner. These guys aren't here,
Cool.
so you can see.
All right. I'm gonna kind of enter and I see these two people, obviously.
Somebody knocked this chair over. Very messy.
So it's a little unnerving as you guys approach the inn. Next to the quarantine, the inn is almost entirely empty too. On the walls, as you walk to the inn, you see a painting of a young man. This young man has very long locks of brown hair. He wears a dark green coat. Beneath the plaque, it reads, in memory of Cedric. And as you guys walk in, you see two people. The only two people in this inn. They also look like they own the inn. You see an older woman. She has a bit of a scowl on her face, but as you walk in, she perks up a bit. Oh, customers. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Help our customers. And then you see a younger woman who's dressed in pretty plain commoner outfit. Rushes over, drops the broom she had, and comes over. Oh, Did you need me to take your coat? Are you staying this evening?
We might be staying this evening, but we're here for questions first.
You take my coat.
Oh, sure. And she goes to take
You
your
can
coat.
take
He
his.
very clearly does not have a coat.
She reaches out, then she realizes she's about to peel back your skin, and she takes a step back.
Yeah, sorry.
She looks over at
Very
Agatha. Don't mind them. Any customer with coin is a customer that we wish. You're sent from the queen, correct?
Indeed, in the college. We've come to grant our aid, figure out what's going on here, hopefully restore the town to normal.
Yes, there's a festival going on.
Come to save us.
There's the opposite of a festival.
A festival of death.
Yes, that as well.
Oh no, it's something about deers and antlers.
I think that's just our mask. But yes, we are here to save you. We've already made some good progress today. We're just looking into possible sources of contamination. It seems like this place was a popular spot before, well, the town started having infections.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask about the weeks leading up to and even now, where you've been sourcing your food materials and other sorts.
Well, we get shipments in from Grinchester, the capital city, for things that we don't need, like spices, other things that we can't catch ourselves. We pay hunters to hunt for deer and some meats, gather berries. Harvesters are a big thing here. Our farmers supply us with what they grow, and then we would do with what we can. I tell you.
Hey, Brew.
yeah.
That thing I showed you, would that apply to a painting?
Oh no, it doesn't really have it's not a big historical thing. Nothing that you would know offhand.
Nothing that would prop off of.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you use the water from the well correctly?
We do. Everyone here does.
See.
I love the water.
And these hunters, do they head to the forest nearby the town?
We do hunt inside the Shimmerwood Forest, but I tell you, and my daughter here can back this up. The ancient elves patrol the forest. They kill anything that's not an elf on sight. In fact, I tell you, those ancient elves, those strange creatures, they did this to us. Their vengeance for what we did when we first settled here. You see, we used to be a lumber town, cutting trees, and when we started to do that, they attacked us.
Elves don't like it when you cut down trees, of course.
I know a tree.
Yes, we do know
It's
a tree.
fat.
He was currently off doing some work. So,
He cut a guy open earlier.
was there any recent change in that supply chain before this infection started? Started at a new location?
No, nothing different. It just happened all of a sudden.
Very nice. So, this town, or this tavern here, is right in front of the town well. I was curious if you or any of your patrons saw any suspicious people near that well prior to this incident.
I haven't seen anything in particular. Tharia, tell them about Cedric. Tell them what Cedric said. And then you see Tharia, she looks up at the painting that she saw as you walked in. My love, Cedric. He used to read and talk to strangers. He said someone passed through here before he died, that there's a special world of woodland spirits interleaked by dreams.
Wow, that's a whiplash. The Cedric, I presume, he's
You make ointment for that.
deceased.
Yeah, he died a few months back. He was also a hunter. In fact, when he died, we never had to outsource our hunting until he passed.
See, and that was before all of this started, right?
Yeah, so matter of fact, once this started, we heard while we still had customers, they would come in and some would say little fairies would fly into their windows at night if they left their windows open. And they would reach down into their esophaguses.
That's pretty dark.
I could imagine that is what's going on though, but I have heard that other people have been closing their windows at night, scared of fairies fluttering through by the windowsill.
See, well, I think you have given me a plethora of useful information. I think we will probably be staying here for the night when we are finished exploring the rest of the town and asking questions to everyone else. I do hope we can come to a quick solution for everyone's sake.
We have rooms are only 1 copper. You can sense she's just taking any money she can just to get someone to get a room.
Of course. Noted. I will inform my other members. We'll be returning here shortly when we have the chance.
We only have one
thank you for your
stipulation.
time.
Just please, when you are in your room tonight, make sure you keep the window closed.
Of course.
Can't let them damn fairies in again.
Yes, that would be good to avoid that.
Flapping around and spreading their dust all over the place.
Yes, exactly. See, you have an intelligent one. You know exactly the situation.
Yes. I hate them. We took our jobs.
I think it's best we head back to the others now.
Ooh.
The tree!
Others.
Our friend, the tree.
Why would we talk to a tree?
He tells us things about what is going on here.
I'm sorry, my grandson's kind of an idiot. Have a good day.
Alright, and we'll go off back to the Baron's place.
Okay. As you guys are talking to Agatha and her daughter, Icy Huckleberry and Oryko, you guys make your way back to the plague basement. Assuming you both put on masks as you get to the entrance and go back down if you haven't took yours off yet.
Hell no.
I never take the mask off.
Yeah, I haven't taken my mask off.
It's just been on.
Okay. You guys make your way down. You get to the first floor. This would be the floor where they're now strapped down. This would be where
Excellent.
this is where Philomer is, the plague doctor.
I will wander over to. I kind of want to take one that's. I don't know if I want to go after one that's pretty much dead in the event that it kills them off, or I want to go for one that's like relatively alive with the hope that I won't kill them. I'll go with one that's like it's relatively fresh, like new condition, relatively undesiccated. I'll wander over to them.
Okay.
And I am going to place. I was just going to place a hand on their body. I don't actually need to do that. I'm just going to sort of point in their direction, speak a few phrases in Druidic, and cast Wither and Bloom. Which apparently the damage thing isn't set up properly, but doesn't matter. I'm going to basically put this on the person. My goal is to try to wither away the plant inside of them. Because it's a relatively fresh bloom. And I'm going to target them as the one, I think the person, not the plant, as the one that gets to reroll a hit dice to heal themselves. I don't know how that works for NPCs, but I will, nonetheless, that's what I'm going to try to do. So basically try to cause the plant inside to wither away and heal up the...
Should we like gather them closer?
I'm doing it on a group of like 3 or 4.
Okay.
I guess. where I'm just doing Wither and Bloom, which means I guess everyone has to take 2d6 necrotics. I'm probably gonna kill a few people. I'd forgotten this area.
It's of your choice, though.
Oh, is it?
It's a choice.
So you can specifically
awesome.
target the seeds that you know are in there.
10-foot radius, I a point within range. Oh, awesome! Yeah, so I'm going to try to focus on the actual like plants inside of them, and I would have collected, realizing that's an area of effect thing. My bad. I would have taken one person who is like very far along the line, one that's like fresh, sort of a diversity,
Yeah.
because I think. Because in case the older ones are more considered magical, in case the younger ones aren't, basically to get a test.
Right. And like Oryko is like making notes of like, okay, we have one subject that's old, one subject that's like it's not like far along, and like making notes that we're keeping
So
the
take
details.
a diversity of people, both in their progression and in their actual state of being, and I'm going to try to kill off the seed inside of them, and I'm going to pick just one that have them heal up a little bit. Probably one that looks worse off.
Okay, so this
See what
is
happens.
so you're targeting. You got 4 people. So for this takes place over 7 days. So you're targeting 4 people all with 1 day. Or are you doing like one that's probably a day, one's probably like 3 days. Or like you can kind of see the deterioration. So you're not targeting just like fresh, right? You're getting like a couple of.
No, I'm getting a diversity. I have like some that are almost dead. I have one that is like brand new. I've got one that's sort of central. See what happens depending on what I do. Depending on who suffers from who gets withered.
I feel like we should have one that's like maybe like an older person too, like to see if maybe like it's only the young patients that can withstand the spell. So like one young, one old, and then one that's far along, and one that's like not as far along.
Yeah,
then those will be our 4.
Yeah.
Okay. So the young
wither away the plants.
The older patient that has been there for some time, so like maybe 3 to 4 days. As your wither bloom hits him, you see this eruption in his chest. You can see almost like the veins in his sternum and going down his arms turn black for a second, and he lets out this hard cough, coughs up some blood, and then he slowly just fades and dies. The younger one that's been farther along does the same thing. He coughs, the veins turn black, and then he also dies. The healthy younger one that's only been there for a day, there's like a bit of an eruption in his stomach, and he heals over and he starts to cough and he starts to spit, and basically he vomits up his insides, and he vomits up this little small seed that looks very blackened and withered that falls out of his mouth. It doesn't look like there's just a little bit of sprout, but it hasn't like started to sprout through his body yet. The older man though, that's been infected for only a day, he's not strong enough to handle the wither and bloom, so he looks over, he coughs a bit, but the spell kills him. You're not sure if it was because, but you're pretty sure that it's because the spell just killed him and not because the plant also died inside of him. But now that the kid that's still alive, he took some pretty hefty damage to his body. He took a pretty heavy necrotic damage. He's like barely alive, but he was able to cough up the seed inside of him before it like fully matured.
Who got the hit dice back?
You got 1 of 4.
He's going to need a lot of recovery.
Yeah, I'm assuming I gave the hit dice to one of the people that ended up dying anyway.
Oh, if you give it to the young kid too, it'll heal him a bit. They don't have very big hit dice as commoners.
Yeah.
So what do you want?
So he healed a little bit, but his body still took some damage from the wither.
Oh, I don't have any low-level healing spells, what I've just realized. I'm not going to cast a mass cure wounds on one man, so...
I mean, we're going to rest and recover right now, aren't we?
Yes, go rest. This is good information. I think it will be time to cure a few people.
You tell that child to spend an hour sleeping, he'll be fine.
Yeah, take a short rest.
Yeah, short rest.
Die.
Pansy.
Did you? Am I cured? Was this what is that?
You are cured. I
But
advise you are careful about
Stay in
what you
bed.
consume, and perhaps
Yes.
isolate yourself
but you
for
can
your
eat.
sake.
Well,
And he
like you
reaches
can eat stuff now, but you should be careful with what you eat. You know.
he reaches over to a bucket and grabs a cup and he scoops a cup of water out of the bucket.
No.
Wait, before you drink that, let me
No.
just purify food and drink for you real quick. It'll just take me a minute.
Oh, okay.
You can't be too careful. Your body is very weak right now, and you don't want to be reinfected before you can recover.
So you purify the bucket of water there, and after it's done, he takes a long drink and he just lets out the sigh. Ah, thank you. Now you kind of see the dilemma that if you think it's the well, everyone here is still drinking the water, but only certain people have popped up as infected so far.
Yeah, but nonetheless, better to keep them on purified water. Nonetheless, and hearing what
You've kind of
mild metagaming, I have a sneaking suspicion that the crazy lady at the tavern might have had some information, might actually be onto something. But
you kind of piece it together that if they drink the water, that's how the seeds get into their stomach, and then it's just whatever activates the seed to like start to grow. Is now like the conundrum.
yeah,
Are we
So
arriving now?
yeah.
Let's get you guys walking.
Oh, and just confirming, Bruce. So when I cast Wither and Bloom, like I did actually like hurt the people with the damage I did.
Yeah. Yep. You heard. You didn't just target.
So like
You didn't just target the seed. You targeted them too because they are the same.
sort of
Basically.
fused.
Yeah.
So if I were to upcast it to try to get more casts out of a day, I would kill everybody.
Yeah. So
That's annoying.
it's probably the seed itself probably has only like a couple hit points, and then it like overextends into the humans too.
Okay,
That's
well,
how
I mean that was a pretty nasty roll. But as the professor and the raisin show up, I will turn to them. I will turn to them now, standing over 3 corpses
Well, one living.
and a living boy who seems well.
We got
Well.
one.
Well,
And I took notes so we can relay the information of what we've done here to the Dr. Mira when we're
I
back.
have found a way to cure them to a degree.
What's the chance of survival?
The catch is simple. Those most progressed are damned. And those who are weak to begin with are
Like babies and old people.
are unable
see.
to survive the procedure.
Is this
If we
a
were to
non-magical
gather-
procedure?
This is
Or-
a magical procedure.
This was a magical one.
This,
I have a
this is
spell that will
start.
allow me to wither away plant life, but it also harms humans.
I hope we
I-
can find a non-magical solution, but this is helpful.
I could potentially now deal with any of the young who are lightly infected. At least lower the strain on the medical personnel here.
We just hope you roll low, you know?
Just hope I don't overdo it. I have 2 more shots at a level that I don't think will kill that will unlikely kill them. I could cast it a few more times, but at that point I'd have to tap into larger reservoirs of power, and I would likely kill them off. That would not be
think-
helpful.
As much as it is useful, I don't know if we should risk that while we're working on a non-magical solution. Perhaps we wait for the test to be complete before we try doing any of that.
What
However-
did you guys find out?
Yes, any information?
Well, the lady at the tavern was a little bit kooky, but
I love
I
cookies.
believe her daughter's husband of some sort noticed an individual in the town some months ago that was speaking of a break somewhere in the forest where the Fae has leaked in. That's as best as I can translate it. But that is most concerning to me.
That would line up with the knowledge we have that this is derived from Valen Feyes, according to you.
Yes.
If we could follow the pollen trail, maybe it'll lead us to where that breakout is in the forest.
I have a lead on that as well. She also
Good.
mentioned fairies being reported by townfolk.
Fairies.
Yes, you hate fairies. The townfolk hate them as well. They have noticed fairies in the town. I'm not sure how reliable this information is, but they reported having dreams, or maybe not dreams, of these fairies entering their mouths or putting something in their mouths as if they were trying to suffocate them.
Interesting.
That would explain the origins of the seeds, and the magical water might have helped them flourish.
You think the fairies left a seed and then the water acted as a catalyst of sorts?
Could be. And they were charmed into. So maybe. And he'll kind of like open up his notes and he'll say, my studies back at the college were extensively in the Feywild, so maybe if we can investigate them closer, I could find more information about how they are doing this.
If you would like, we can head into the forest, although I'm not entirely sure where this location is, or if it's even real. The person who reported it has been dead for a few months now.
The plague's been going on for that long?
No, I don't believe so. I think this was far before the plague even started, or was large enough to become a problem. Do we know how long it's been going on? Like, officially? The quarantine?
About a week? Over a week?
About a week. Okay, so yeah, that was some time ago, before the plague was even a problem.
So this guy died before the plague?
Yes. I didn't
Interesting.
secure how he died from them. I suppose I should have asked that, but we can always approach them again. I told them we would be housing there for the night.
Well, we could house there and then first thing in the morning set out into the forest after we've gathered more.
I can agree with that.
I have another experiment I could run.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
boy. I'll pull aside Alvarina before you do that.
Okay.
The water in the well was tainted by magic of some kind. I haven't had time to look into it. I'll investigate it tonight once we arrive at our housing, but until then, please purify any water you receive from the well, or have received.
This is excellent information. Everything we've received is from the well, so our entire source will need to be purified. I'm sure everyone also living here must also purify. Although many of the farmers collect water in their own ways, not from this well, from streams and rivers, so they may be safe.
I hope so. And with that, I think I'm ready to go back to the inn unless you guys want to do anything else.
I have another
No.
experiment
What do you
to
wanna
run.
Okay.
What is it?
I shall perhaps find a way to keep the weakened alive. Not the far gone, but the fresh and weak. Are you prepared to
stop the
witness
progression?
deaths? To cure it like I did the child, but without risking killing them as severely. Are you ready to risk many more deaths?
Maybe not yet.
A few more deaths.
I feel like we've already burned like 4 bodies
Six-
downstairs.
6 deaths. Bring to me 6 people.
What are you preparing to cast?
Combination of 2 spells. I shall create a healing spirit in the center of the area near those who I will then wither. The healing spirit will allow me to restore health before they die. The wither will rid us of the plant. If this is successful, we might be able to cure any and all minor progressions. It is a risk I'm willing to take.
You think you can heal them in
I
the
know
time
I can
between,
heal them.
like between the host death and their death?
We'll find out. Hence the test.
Surprises.
I would let
Can
you
I
know
like
that they would
help
die.
in any way?
Yeah, you would be able to tell them that they would
Okay.
die. Once they lose their hit, they don't have death saves. Once they lose their health, they die.
Okay.
Once they hit
So
0,
I
they're
can't
gone.
I can't instantaneous heal, even though it's like it's a no action.
Like as soon as they hit 0, they would die.
Fine. I shall not perform this test.
Let's not do anything. We have
Insight
a
has
test
reminded
underway
me
right
that
now.
perhaps these weaker beings would not survive such an ordeal.
You also
The
might
likes of you would.
you might be able to pull something out too that the younger person that was a couple days in also died.
Oh, I've confirmed that like it is the only way I can get them is early doors if they are stronger.
Yeah. Yep.
If they're hardy and early doors, I can heal them. But I shall not perform this test. But Wilhelm, my test has likely confirmed that the poisoning might also be a non-magical solution to this problem. And perhaps one that is more easily dosed.
We'll have to find that balance once I understand what's actually in the water. I'll try and figure that out tonight.
Excellent.
So back to the inn.
Yep,
Seems
I'm ready
as
to go.
such.
I
don't know
would
why I'm
like to
giving
meet this
Huckleberry fancy
innkeeper
words.
myself.
Yes,
So-
inquire about how I think her husband died, or he did not seem to be related to them. So
Before you make your way back to the inn, at this point in the day, the sun's starting to set, so it is sunset. As you walk in, it's still that strange, eerie presence where there is no one in the inn except for Agatha, the innkeeper, and Theria, Agatha's daughter. Then as the two new people enter, Icy Huckleberry and Oryko, you both see the painting on the wall for Cedric, which you've been told is Thyria's husband. As you walk
They'll
in, though,
look the
Agatha
same to
looks
me.
over. Are you eating tonight? Do you need some stew?
I do not eat meat bag food.
We actually were given rations from the outpost, to reduce the chances of infection while we were here.
I'm very hungry. I would love stew.
He's a special exception.
I'd love some stew.
Agatha goes over to the crock pot, pours you some potato stew, puts it in a bowl, and pushes it in front of Nesyamun.
Mm.
Nesyamun, as you
Sounds
reach out to eat it, put a spoonful in your mouth. His throat's kind of like half deteriorated, so you can see it kind of fall.
Yeah, I
from
was
his
gonna
throat.
say, it'd probably just fall out. Just go all over the floor.
at least he
This is
enjoys
good
it.
stew.
At least he's enjoying it.
So I kind of sit next to Theria, right?
It's like my grandma used to make.
Sit, like this chair back here, this little table.
Earlier,
Greedy. Try this
you were
stew.
talking about this man Frederick, right?
Oh yes, my husband Cedric, he passed a few months back.
Cedric. I forgot to ask, how did he pass? If you don't mind.
When he was on a hunting expedition, he went a little too deep into the forest, and We found his body mauled by something with very large claws. We were only able to identify him because of his, she wipes back into you for a second. His dark green coat was ripped, but we found that.
Very interesting. Well, I'm sorry for your loss. He kind of just like puts down 2 gold coins on the table, for the meal and housing for the night.
Oh, you're so generous. This is so much more. Oh, thank you so much.
Hard times.
Of course.
We'll only charge you 1 gold if when you go into the forest you bring back any elf ears you might find. Is Agatha?
I do not make it a habit to collect ears of no note.
I imagine you need to thin the ranks in the forest to save us from this plague. It's the elves to blame.
Can I check Agatha? Like, can I do a vibe check on Agatha to see, like, why she hates the elves so much? Like, a bit of an insight?
Yeah, go make an insight check.
Get a vibe of, like, is it just pure racism? Is it pure racism? Or, like, there's
Lean on
something
the
has
table. Kind of like leaning a hand on like the side of my head, like covering one of my ears, you know? Just like, yep.
Yep, hate those elves.
Yeah, Nolamon's sitting there. And the Nolamon's the priest of the town. She hates the elves. It's definitely a true hatred. And you would probably get a sense that it's from when they first moved here and they were attacked for cutting down the trees. Something has kind of spread through that.
Pay no heed to the words of the soonly departed. Her mind is clouded by emotion. This is often the case for your kind.
Well, I think I will return to my room and figure out what exactly is happening with this water.
Okay. So as all of you go to your rooms, is there any kind of checks you want to make to the water?
Yeah, I just kind of want to look into it, see what's going on. Magical, also non-magically.
You would pick up that there's some sort of enchantment magic from the enchantment school. It seems to be infused into the water. And then is anyone opening their windows tonight in their rooms?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Let me flip a coin. One will be that the windows open. 2 will be closed.
Actually, I think I will also flip a coin now that I think about it.
Okay.
I feel like my character is curious enough. Is the slash before or after the R?
It's /R space 1d2.
Nesyamun's door or Nesyamun's window is closed, and Oryko's window is open.
Oh yeah, I didn't warn them to close their windows.
He just forgot.
We're about to take a rest, and as that being the case, I'm going to burn another 5th level spell slot.
Okay.
And I'm going to do a legend lore again. I'm going to cast the Ask the DM a Question button.
God, what are we doing?
And I want to search for information on Valen. Seeing as how that's like the key word that we have, that we don't have a huge amount of information on, but I feel like there will actually be information on.
You're doing this alone in your room?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't just talk to God when you're in your room by yourself?
Just drawing a runic circle on the floor, placing my little things. Just realized I just burned another 250 gold, so I'm now 500 gold down.
Is that what it costs every time you do that?
Yes.
You're literally buying DLC.
I had forgotten how much it cost a bunch of money.
Jesus Christ. Where'd you get all this money, man?
I was like, I got a bunch of spell slots. I can burn these. Then I cast it again. I went, wait a minute. I forgot this costs me money. I'm running out of cash. I can't res nobody no more.
Oh, good.
Wow.
I had forgotten it cost me money. But yeah, I'm still gonna do it because I'm not a coward. I'm not gonna pull back. So I'm gonna ask for Vol, and I'm really gonna hope this is worth the 250 gold I just spent, because the last one wasn't. So yeah, I'm searching for all lore on Valen. The universe is willing to provide. I know that it is a fae of some nature, so it should give me a little bit of a bonus to knowing things.
All right, so Valen. I'm gonna type it out a little bit.
Did Wilhelm say, what did Wilhelm say about Frederick seeing somebody? I'm writing down my notes, but I forgot.
So he I forgot what the exact wording was, but it was somewhere in the forest, the person that he talked to said something about the places becoming intertwined. Not necessarily with the Fae, but he described it as almost basically the Fae.
He said a dream, like a mix of nature and and dreams.
Yeah, which my character took as the Fae. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the trance.
Or the trance or the Fae, yeah. Either
well,
or, both of them are pretty.
from the
And he
trance.
saw that in the forest? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
If we don't remember, oops.
The brief summary of Valen is he is a Fae Prince of the Summer's Dream. Summer's Dream is one of the 3 sections of the trance. The trance is broken up into 3 hemispheres.
Can I roll something to see how much about that I would know?
Sure.
Can I also do that?
Just remember
What is that?
when I had you guys
Is that
do your checks
religion?
earlier for Valen, you rolled a 23 and it was barely anything. So it's very hard to find. You just found it because of legend lore.
Yeah, I know. I have the ask the DM all the information button. It just costs 250 gold every time I decide to do it.
Yeah, it's
What
just
was a history roll for that?
Yep.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, history.
Oh. Never
Yeah.
mind. Oh, so we're good with religion.
I just pay a large sum of money to God, and then God tells me all the answers I need.
It's just do you get a brief summary of the thing that you asked for? So 20 for 20 about on Valen, is that who you're trying to learn more
Yeah,
about?
because I feel with his background, he studied at the Royal College as much as he could about the Feywild, and as a ranger, he's a Fey wanderer, and I was hoping that could maybe help him remember something in his studies that he might know about the Valen.
But yeah, I will also go and take this information to Oryko to write down, because Huckleberry does not take notes, and Huckleberry knows he will forget by the morning. So he tells Oryko this information to basically make sure it gets written down.
Okay, cool.
Because he knows that Oryko is taking notes. It has basically
Yeah.
become Huckleberry's scribe as far as Huckleberry is concerned vis-a-vis research.
I'll also come back downstairs after kind of looking at the valve for a bit and tell the others. Seems like the water had a very basic enchantment spell on it. Nothing insane, but more than enough to affect people of, well, lower stature.
Gestures to half the party. Less prepared, yes. Now. So yeah, I give back my information, and then I think guess we're gonna take a long rest now.
Mm-hmm.
8 fairies.
I am
That's
closing
nice.
my window, by the way, remembering. I I said.
Do you know
Or what I was
Valen
told.
he was big in the creation of the Rivers Court language, which is one of the 3 Druid languages. And he's often seen as like a druidic warrior to people on Erenel.
Oh, I know River Court. I speak that language. Okay.
Oh, hey, same.
Very cool, very cool.
I mean, I speak all the Druidic languages, but that's not important.
So Oryko has his window open. Nesyamun has his window closed. And then Wilhelm and Huckleberry have their windows closed. The 4 of you
Yep.
go to sleep for the night. Give yourselves a long rest.
Before
Oh, go ahead.
that happens, I would like to, in my open windowsill, ritual cast alarm.
Ooh, okay.
Nice.
Clever. Take a rest, and I'm gonna go and reset what I have prepared. So a few spells I think are actually not gonna serve me.
So the night goes for you, Oryko, without your alarm being triggered, which is also but it was still a really good idea to cast that. Try to bait. You're not sure if it's because they didn't know you were there or there was definitely a reason of why they didn't come to you. But what's strange is as you guys open your doors and step out to start the new day, plain to see because his body is dissolving, you can see in the center of Nesyamun's esophagus above his stomach is a little seed sitting there.
What a fucking stupid fairy.
Oh,
Why did a
wow.
fairy go to this guy?
So,
Also, his door,
because
his
since
window
I,
is
yeah,
closed.
my window's
It's
closed.
too, right?
I also don't sleep, so I would have seen this happen.
Exactly.
I feel
So
like you just
so you did not see a fairy come into your room and put anything into you. You just woke up the next day and there was a seat there.
Oh, I'll
Interesting.
grab it, pull it out.
So the 4 of you standing there, you see Nesyamun reach in and just pull the seed out of his chest and look at it. It's very small seed, about 3 inches in diameter.
What the hell is that?
I have an idea. And I'll pull out like a flask with a cork on it, and I'll like motion for you to put it in.
Okay, there you go.
And I'll put some water and like some of my rations into it for the day.
I definitely know what happens, like above board, but I can't tell you because he doesn't remember.
I'm gonna eat my ration for the day as well.
So as you put your ration, you pour some water in the seed, you see the seed immediately start to slowly kind of open just a little bit. Because you're...
Okay, cool. And I'm corking it up, so
Okay.
it's like, so it still can have air if it's corked. It just won't probably be able to launch itself out.
You have any more of that meat? Hungry.
And then you look into Nesyamun's room and you can see that the window is closed.
Interesting.
But I think...
What else means most of us are infected then, possibly.
I'd like some breakfast, please.
so as you
I
guys
mean-
are making your way down the stairs, I think it's a good spot to end it. We can keep talking, but I think this is a good spot to end today's session.
Good idea.
Yeah, it
Going
works
into
for
the new
me.
day.
All right.
Is there anything you want to like deduce? I won't give you any answers or anything, but if there's anything you want to chat about.
I'm gonna try and grow this seed and see if it tries to move towards wherever like the bodies wanted to go.
Yeah, it
Like,
could be our
and
sort of compass.
That could be our compass, is what I was thinking. Is if we
I'm
let
gonna
the
roll
seed grow.
a 1d100, in fact. And if I get 100, I'm gonna say he remembered.
I love that we have exactly the information we require, but it's trapped within the mind of a of an adult.
That was really close.
Senile
really
man.
high.
of a addled man.
Funny.
Okay.
So now you're wondering, Nesyamun didn't have a mask on the whole time, so who knows? He ate the stew. I mean, who knows? A couple
That's
things
true.
that
Yeah,
might
I
have
mean-
caused it.
It's either
Um,
the food, the lack of mask, or something we haven't touched on yet.
I'm guessing it might have been the stew. Because that was using water that probably wasn't purified yet. And he also didn't have a mask on, so if there was like some type of aerial activation, he would have been protected either.
Right.
Exactly.
So he could have very easily.
Unlike us, we were
got it.
totally protected, guys.
100%, totally
Drink
protected.
the water. We didn't take off our masks except to eat our own rations that we had from outside, we should be
You know what's
fine.
fucked up about this whole thing? Y'all also might have a seed in you, and you have no way of knowing.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
All right. Well, thank you for the game.
That was
It was
fun.
fun.
This
Good
is fun. I like this group.
Is everyone good for next
I-
Saturday at 2?
Yup.
Should be.
Yes. The week after that, I won't be here though. Like I'll be in a different state.
That's
entirely.
good. Yeah, the week after that too, I'll be at Gen Con.
I think
Woo!
I'll be out as well, so that's actually good timing.
Well, that works
So-
out well.
Perfect.
Better to have all
22nd.
three on the same weekend than like
That's
3 weekends in a
the
row.
29th, right?
Yeah, so if we'll play next week and then the 29th the week off.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll be out that
Yeah.
weekend as well. Fantastic.
Kind of funny that.
I love that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, session with no combat. How'd it feel? I haven't done one of those in a
I
long
mean,
time.
I didn't get to do any
Pretty
goofy
funny
nonsense.
group. I like it. Easy to
I
RP
definitely
with.
enjoy the group chemistry for sure.
Yeah, this is fun. I'm struggling at being a high level druid, trying to decide which spells to take and which ones not to, because I'm like, there's utility spells I could take, but I kind of want to have some fighting ability.
You forget how hard it is to jump into a level 12 character and just be like, oh yeah, I have all this shit now.
Yeah, or
It's
like
funny.
I don't remember
We
my
jump into the
features.
characters and we don't even use it. We're just.
Yeah, like, I've cast
I
spells.
honestly don't even think all my shit's correct. Like just looking through it, I'm just like, I don't even know where some of this shit came from.
I mean, I made my character specifically as like a non-combat-y, more like scholarly, obviously. So I definitely feel like my character is being used the way I wanted him to be used.
Do that. Yeah, I mean you got a good thing. I was able to take more utility and like support spells because most of my damage is wild shape, which works well.
True, yeah.
I mean, I've got
Right.
my 6th level spell. I did take a damage spell. Took
Oh, my
Sunbeam,
character
of
is
course.
100% all of his stuff is combat related.
Going into the Fae.
I'll definitely be
Ooh.
a protector of the group when we get to that point.
I definitely
So-
want to also, like in the morning, I forgot to do this until I saw my spell sheet, but if I could use, or maybe before I go to bed, I wanted to quick ritual cast Find Familiar, so I could just cast it at an average 1 hour,
Oh yeah. Oh, what do you want to summon?
and have a familiar before we go into the forest.
Yeah.
I wanted to do the, what's it called? The Fae,
The Flutterfluff?
the Flutterfluff. Yeah. I wanted to do that,
Yeah.
Alright.
That'd
and
be
I'll have that
sick.
ready for next.
You can also
Next
just
time.
shield everyone before we go in the forest, lol. Oof, not a good roll though.
All right, you should see the Flutterfluff now on your thing, and you should be able to move one
Oh,
on the
that's
screen.
so cool.
That'll be fun. Wait, I've now picked up a low level healing spell.
Too. Flutterfluff.
It's a good choice. And I have switched out so that I have detect magic as well. So
He could be very useful into seeing like these dreams, especially since people are imagining whatever the Fae are giving them.
yeah, we've confirmed that Valen got kicked out of the summer court for tampering with dreams. So
Not the nicest guy.
knowledge of dreams is going to be important. It's going to be useful. In any case, I'm going to head out because I've got like family over right now.
Yeah, guys. It was fun.
Muse,
So-
well, thank you for the game. It was fun.
This was
Whoever
fun.
watching.
I quite
It was
Thank
good
you.
times.
I'm enjoying being an empathy-less research with no intelligence.
My next stream is Tuesday with Prime Horizon Episode 2, and then we got Wednesday. We have the Dragon Incarnate campaign kicking off, and you guys back on Saturday. So I got 3 games next week.
Hell yeah.
Gonna be good. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Hope you guys enjoyed playing, and I'll see y'all on Tuesday.
See y'all later.
See ya.
Have a good day.